What the hell is going on with my hair? Oh my god. Dun-dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun-dun.
What's going on, everybody?
What's going on?
Okay. Having a good time today?
Having a good time now.
There we go.
Crazy day, but
yeah,
having fun. Glad to be here.
This is the best part of my days on Thursdays, man. It just lets me
what about Wednesdays?
Decompress and all that good stuff. How we doing, Grody?
Oh, doing good.
You sound like you're doing good. How many shots in you are already?
Believe it or not, 0. I'm going sober. I don't need it.
What? No peanut butter vodka, or what is it? Peanut butter whiskey?
Yeah, but I definitely don't need it. Diabetes.
Never heard of that.
Liver failure. I'm good.
I've never heard of it until you mentioned that, and I was like, that might be good. I can almost see it. Hey, Corey Barton's in the chat.
Yeah, I've had peanut butter ale, and yeah, it ain't bad. We got D-Wag. Oh,
yeah. What's up?
Kool-Aid Man busting through. We got Corey Barton. What's going on, brother? Good to have you in the chat. Oh, and look at that. Peter Orchard is with us also.
Hey, Peter, what's going on, man? Hey, not bad.
Oh,
how about you? Not bad.
How's your relationship with Grok going?
Pretty good. I think Grok contacted me after the show last night to let me know I need to keep my mouth shut. And I'm like spilling too much, like live streams. I didn't realize it was Grok's been watching me on the live streams.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Also told me I need to stop going to Russian sites.
Yes.
Because
that might be helpful.
Everybody missed it.
If you guys weren't over at Peter Orchard's channel yesterday, please go over there and watch the show.
Before I have to censor it. I haven't been able to censor it yet.
Before he has to censor it. Yes, sir. We had a wonderful time. 2 wonderful things took place on that show.
Special guest pop.
Somehow that just set the tone for the show to keep circling back to it. I don't understand how, but the accident was magnificent.
Yeah, Corey, you have to go back and watch it on my channel. It's last night's stream. Not at 6 minutes and some seconds in.
No, not at 6 minutes, 36 seconds. No, not at all. But guys, we got a good one. We got a good one today.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Excellent book. I actually shared it with these guys in the back room and showed it off to them. And then after we get done with this one, we'll go on to 2 issues of the Mythicals. So the first one we're going to start off with is The Band of the Crow by Arvid Nelson. And
here we go.
Oren,
take a swig for that.
I forgot what. Yes, art by Oren. I don't know Oren's last name.
Dude, that artwork is a badass right off the top.
Very good.
We're gonna get right into it, man. Band of the Crow, beautiful book, excellent cover. Yeah. I have nothing bad to say, dude.
I do.
You do?
No. Actually,
Peter, of course he does.
Yeah, here's the thing I got to say. I wish that, which I totally understand, this is a preview book. I wish this was a bigger book. I want to see the whole thing, and I can't wait to see the whole thing.
Everybody that I've seen on Twitter receive it said they just want more, and I am in the same boat. I wish this was a thicker book. I feel like this is just a tease. It is. It's an oversized ash can.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
It's not fair.
Mm-hmm. And it was a completely fairly priced oversized ash can. How much was that?
Oh, most definitely. Colonel Zaid just showed up. What's going on, Colonel?
What's up, Colonel Zaid?
And
You got to show some artwork in that thing. Actually,
I'm going to bring my camera down here to where we can check it out. It's about to get brighter because I'm going to pull the veils off of my lights because they're too damn bright for me if I'm not showing off a book.
The only thing I have to say about this book is that first thing you pointed out, and I didn't even catch it at first.
Yes, and I'll point it out, but it is the only problem that I found with this book. Yeah. But at first I was like really proud that I found something to complain about. But after that one thing, there is nothing else in this book that I can just like nitpick or bitch about because it's just so well done. They did an excellent job with Band of the Crow.
The only things I would nitpick the only things I would nitpick at all is the movement of the story. It feels like some of the parts could have been condensed in order to fit more stuff in there. But then I realized this is a preview book, so this isn't even the whole story. So we're going to get more when we get the actual book. I'm curious why he decided to do a preview book, honestly, but I'm not complaining because once we get that whole book, I'm all in for that. The artwork is phenomenal, and the story is pretty cool, man.
Yeah, guess you even got a chance to read this one too. How'd you feel?
Oh, it was amazing. I actually loved it. Usually when I'm looking at some of these things, I'm like, okay, yeah, there's some issues here and there. But with this one, I was just like, it's like you were saying, I wish it was longer. I'm looking forward to the rest of the comic.
Yeah. Now, the question I got to ask you is, would this be, when the chance comes along, would this be the first book you back as a campaign?
Ooh, good question.
When it comes to that, that's a money issue more than a personal taste issue.
Yep, man, that's a fair argument.
That's fine. But yes, if he could, he would. You heard it here.
I would have been backing way more books if I had a little bit extra cash. And there are starting to be some really good books coming out.
So this is
just go to my GoFundMe and I will buy this comic. I will back this comic.
You know what was nice? Indiegogo used to do PayPal credit.
Yeah.
It's not the best thing in the world, but I mean, using credit, but it was kind of nice to not have to sweat it and like I could pay in payments and I was able to back more. But then for some reason, I can't do that anymore. And that sucks.
So, you guys ready for me to blow up?
Yeah.
Do it. Do it.
Here we go. All right. So here we go. We have the credits page, and I love the font that they use. This is so well done. Up here, of course, we have Crowfire Studios with their logo. And you can see like the shading of the tree back here, kind of transparent.
Yeah, that's nice. I like that font too, man.
I'm
wondering if they got that from somewhere or if that was okay, the Band of the Crow, I'm pretty sure that is like maybe an adjusted font. I feel like I've seen that font somewhere, but it looks like it's been adjusted. But all the filigree and stuff around, that's fancy.
Okay. So we're going to get the one misstep of this book out of the way real quick, okay? It's going to be like a Band-Aid.
Do it.
The one problem that I found with this book, we have a typo, ladies and gentlemen. And it is the very first word.
Which look at that. Look at how exquisite that is. That's what sucks about this.
Yeah.
Clearly it was hand done.
It says, some can say whence came the eternal cold that swept over the known world 8 centuries ago. And some, for some reason, has an N.
Sony.
It's the same. It's the same N in the word can and when.
Oh, that is a font. Is that hand drawn or is that looks like a font?
This is hand drawn. This is hand drawn.
Damn, dude. Are you sure? That looks like those N's look exactly the same. I think that's a font.
No, that's not one, Corey. That right there, that is supposed to be an S.
Are you sure that's an S, not an N?
Down here with an O on.
Yeah, no, that's like that classic, like Bible lettering or whatever. Where does that come from? That's like old Bible stuff, right? When they used to hand write the Bible.
Yeah.
Actually, I think that might be an N.
How is it an N?
One can say No, that's clearly an S. It says one can say. That doesn't make any sense if it says one can say.
It's too confusing. It needs to
One
be a
can
little
say,
more.
none can say. No, sir.
No, that's an S.
That's an S.
Maybe it should have said few can say.
Yeah, few would have been better. But
Would
I
it?
don't know where you get the N.
One can say. Yeah, that is weird. Because now it kind of almost makes sense if it does say one. But
why would you capitalize here? But
oh, hold on. Does it say none? It says none. Holy shit.
Where does it say none?
That's an N. That's not an S, dude. That's an N.
Let me blow out.
Zabe.
Holy shit, that's an N.
So it's not a typo. Holy crap, I feel stupid.
Wow.
Now. I feel stupid thanks to you, Jake, because you're the one that pointed it out, not me. I thought it was perfect.
You followed.
No, I didn't. I was like, I don't know. That looks like an N. And you're like, no, bro, it's an S.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, yeah, you're right.
It breaks right here. Holy
shit. None can say. Nobody knows.
Ah.
Well, you can't be too upset. I mean, we got, what is it, the City of Law?
Yeah, well, the Lords of Law, right?
Yeah, Lords of Law.
All right, well, even still, that's
all right. So now this book is just 100%.
It's perfect.
Moving on.
Hey, thanks, Corey. I tried to tell Jake, but he didn't listen to me.
Oh, go fuck yourself. But yeah. So this is all done by hand, man. This is actually somebody writing this.
Wow, dude, that's badass. I wish I could.
And then look at this.
Look at that art. Holy shit, man. Overkill? Like, somebody's got something to prove here.
Somebody
I love it. This reminds me of like that Hobbit artwork, the Lord of the Rings artwork that for the movies.
Yes.
Yeah, dude. I don't forget the name of that artist, and that's a shame because the guy deserves credit.
Trying not to be a shaky camera for everybody.
That's so beautiful, man. Great job with that artwork.
I love it.
And it doesn't stop. It just keeps going.
It's so good.
Corey, he says worst critique.
That's awesome. Oh shit. I can't believe I thought that was
pages.
I can't believe I couldn't tell that was an N.
You know what? I didn't ever catch it either. When you said it was an S, I was like, yeah, that does look like an S. Yeah, but it definitely is an N.
Oh well, that just makes it all the better because it's perfect and there's no issue whatsoever. But yeah, I like this. I love this one.
Yeah, that reminds me of that Indiana Jones. Remember that at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark, they were looking in that book and it had that classic intricate. That's what it reminds me of like the whole opening the ark.
Yeah,
I love.
So after we get done, like this should be like in a leather bound with like gold detail, kind of like those old storybooks, like Beauty and the Beast and stuff. I would love to see it like that. And then we finally get into the actual story, and we start here at this castle, and another excellent shot.
I almost feel,
huh?
I was to say, I almost feel like he was afraid to put more dialogue to cover up this awesome artwork.
Oh, same. I wouldn't want to cover it up.
I wouldn't want to either, so I totally get it. But I will say, even as a preview Ashcan, I did breeze through this thing.
Yeah. This was very much a quick read.
Yeah. And I feel like it's like it was trying to not cover up art, or maybe I'm wrong about that, but the artwork is amazing. I would feel terrible putting more words over it.
I would love for the actual book to take us all across this castle.
Yeah, right?
I'm always a big fan of like show, don't tell.
Yeah.
Well, they had to like design the castle and like the whole town to keep it consistent, because there's other images of that town and it looks like the same town.
Yeah.
Look at
that. So this is the one that we actually got on the campaign. He gave us this shot. and it's just as beautiful as it was on the campaign. There are no complaints.
Mm-hmm.
So this young guy,
the lighting, the coloring,
he's over here praying to the Holy Mother, and I forgot his name.
He's redhead. The redhead stepchild.
We just call him Ginger. So Ginger is praying, and then here comes the goblin.
A very handsome goblin.
Yeah, like these are the goblins that women say yes to.
They swipe right on Tinder.
Right.
Right. That's the guy that keeps stealing all the dates from everybody. Just in case, just so they all are wondering, he's the one stealing all your dates.
I love this
son of a bitch
here in the church.
Yeah. I love it too, man. All the artwork, you can't say it enough. The artwork is
you got the
freaking phenomenal.
And the cement. I mean,
was it the colorist that it's the same as the artist, the inker, penciler, everybody, and the colorist? Is it all the same person? Because if it's I
didn't say anything other than Oren for art.
Okay, yeah, because this is like a perfect blend of styles and inking and penciling and coloring. I want to know who colored it, because this is exactly the kind of coloring I want, in a comic. That whenever I get something going, I want to talk to this person. It's almost like watercolor, but not. It's
right.
Freaking awesome, man. Trolls, help me! We're under attack. Trolls! Shut your mouth, little boy.
Okay, trolls.
There's trolls in our chat.
I'm gonna steal all your gold.
So anyway, they're about to slit this little dude's throat because he's just screaming for help and everything, and all they want is the fucking gold, and that is some good-looking gold. I'm not gonna lie, I'd steal it.
Shit. Yeah, totally.
So yeah, he's about to eat dirt when out of nowhere, these ghostly black darkness just comes out of nowhere and starts gripping them, throwing them across the rooms, and it's all controlled by this lady.
Yeah,
she's a good looking babe.
You know what? I'll talk about it in a second.
For the babe.
There's an aspect of this babe here that I'm curious about. It's too obvious to think that it's an accident.
No, it's not an accident. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's clearly not an accident, but
no.
I think it's in the next page or the page after. But it makes me wondering. What does Corey say?
Yeah, buddy.
Admiral Wackass, what's up, man?
What's going on, Admiral?
It's really like the Labyrinth Maze in this. Yeah, me too. That was pretty awesome. Actually, had one as a thing in one of my dreams. Did I read that right? Yeah. Actually had one as a thing in one of my dreams, 2 days after I read this. So who's stuck in my head? Well, I didn't have any dreams after that, but I did like the intricacies of, the maze.
So she comes in, she uses a little bit of black magic to get the trolls out of the cathedral, out of the church, what have you.
Some good action.
She's a little badass. She takes on everybody and saves this little Ginger's life.
Now this is now granted it's an action scene, so you want a faster pace, I guess, because action happens quick, right? But it does feel like there's a lot of paneling for an action, which is good and bad. On one hand, it's good because you can kind of get the idea of the motions happening to get the action across. On the other hand, I have seen people try to skip the in between, motions, and it just looks like two completely separate events. But I almost feel like there might have been a way to do this to convey the motion. You know what I mean? It feels like there might have been a way to convey the action in a condensified, I guess you could say. But it's not bad at all.
No.
It just does make it read a lot quicker. But then you could spend all that extra time just looking at all this artwork because the artwork is fantastic.
This is one of the better books where you can actually read the character's facial expressions. Like, look how she's determined, she's locked in, she's not going to back down. You can tell that she has determination, or like she's going to take care of this issue.
Yeah. You know what it is? I just figured it out. It's, you know what? And I'm totally wrong. This reads like a manga, but in comic book format. So there's bigger panels. It's a little bit more like it explains the actions, which in a manga works pretty good. Yeah, I didn't know why I didn't recognize that.
Very good detail.
Yeah, it's just different than what I'm used to. So yeah, actually, I don't have any complaints in that now I think about it.
But of course, she uses so much magic, it tires her out and everything, and she starts to get weak. Luckily, the trolls have left. Here comes her husband.
That's the thing.
I cannot see these two being husband and wife.
That's exactly what I thought. That dude does not look like why is she with him?
No shit.
And then later, you kind of like get a sense that maybe there's something else going on here.
Right.
Because she clearly could do better.
Well, it's the way that
like me, she could be with me.
He he's worried about her and everything. She's with child.
Ew, gross.
He tried to get there before anything happened. She took care of it.
Oh, Joe, what's up, man? This is an amazing project. Backing was a question. I wish I'd known about it. I totally would have backed this. And Arvid's this is Arvid Nelson, right? Arvid's awesome. I remember him like 4 years ago during that election. He was on Ethan's stream talking like statistics and stuff. And it's very interesting stuff he had to say. Always love seeing Arvid on stream. So I know this is going to be a very intelligent book.
Yes. Yeah. So the way that she looks at him after Lothario was in there with the trolls in the chapel, and she just like looks at him like,
ew.
Oh, well, it changes nothing. In fact, we might be able to use this to our advantage. She's like she's already thinking of what to do next. And I don't know. She kind of intimidates me a little bit with this look on her face.
Go back to the husband though. Look at that husband was very intentionally drawn to be a hideous shud. There's no way that beautiful girl's married to this guy without like some ulterior motive. There's no way.
Well, anyway, they talk about the attack and everything. Her husband takes the
Hold on a second. Hold on. Admiral Wackass is asking a pretty big question here. Whose kid is she pregnant with? Why is she with him? Why is the protagonist going to be related to her soon? Yeah, these are all good questions. And why did he spill the goblet of water on her instead of drinking? These are answers we need. I agree.
Yeah.
We were going to get into that because it looks like this relationship between the ginger and her is going to start building pretty soon. And then the husband's just going to take a backseat to that relationship. And things are going to ensue. But I really like this book. I loved everything that happened with the wife and the husband and explaining how things work in their kingdom.
So like the husband takes credit for the attack with his people. He's like the leader. And so he takes credit for the victory. Yeah, and the wife is like cool about it because she gets it or whatever.
Her facial expression says that she knows he's full of shit and whatever, but
I think he's gonna die. I think he's gonna die in like the actual story because she knows his days are numbered. I think she could see the future. She knows he's gonna die, and that's why she wanted to take the throne. That's why she's with him to begin with, and then when he dies, she's gonna take the throne and lead the people to victory or death. Who knows? That would be interesting if it was death.
Corey says she married him because he's rich. He's got a big wallet.
That it could be that. I'm just saying. That's what I think. But he could just be rich.
That dude just looks like a dick.
Yeah, right. And kudos to the artist for that because that is a hard thing to convey the pure essence of just dickhead. And they did a good job with it.
All right, let's keep moving.
Yeah.
So anyway, he's about to go through this like ritual situation to be accepted into the fold as a mage or doing some kind of sorcery himself. And these guys pick on him and tell him that he's not going to make it like his father didn't and never come back from the maze. And this is out of character because the whole time I thought this guy was just a wimp. But as soon as somebody talks about his dad,
he bites him in the hand like a wimp.
He turns feral.
Feral, but then he still gets his head smashed down.
Oh yeah, he still gets his butt kicked, but
I mean, come on, dude. You bite somebody in the hand, like bite him in the neck. Go for the throat.
That's an anime move. That's a Goku move.
And then we got this other priest like consoling him. So he's still kind of a wimp. Now hold on, go to the top panel. This is something I was confused about. What the hell is that?
That's the goblet.
Oh, that's the cup. Okay. Because that's that is a critique right there. That I had no idea what that was until looking at it and remembering what comes next. Yeah, okay.
You all these the goblets down here on the table.
That's that was odd too, and kind of interesting that they did that. Like they have these pre-made goblets for everybody.
Well, it's something that's obviously part of their culture and everything.
Well, that's like cult shit right there.
Well, of course. I mean, look at them. It looks like they're
come get your thanks for your $100. Here's your honorary goblet of water.
This is a fraternity for magic.
Yeah, that's what it's like. It is. It's a fraternity. That's a good way to put it.
So anyway, he drinks it, and this just caught me off guard for some reason. Like he's about to take the cup. He looks at it. He sees her reflection. He sees his. There's nothing else in there.
Where's the
wafers? And then he fucking spills it. Like, look how dramatically he spilt the thing.
Oh, yeah. He's like throwing it on her, right? Dupe.
Yeah. Now, had he seen something in the goblet.
Oh, yeah. Like some kind of monster, and it causes him to like. And then you throw an extra panel of him like going, what? And then like spilling it on her. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But just like that dramatically, he had to have seen something in the water. And I don't know. I just feel like that there might have been a misstep.
Go back.
Admiral Wackass later in the bigger book.
Admiral Wackass is saying her eyes look sinister in the cup reflection. Go back to that reflection. Maybe she looks like particularly evil in that reflection, and that's why he's like, "Oh shit." Okay. All right.
Oh yeah, she does. I don't know.
No, that's just a woman.
It kind of matches
Buy this cup. You must drink. He looked up her nose. Nah, she didn't look particularly sinister to me.
No, it almost fits like for that. It almost fits there.
Yeah, I'm not seeing
no malice.
That. That would have been an interesting take if that was. It would have
a stern
over my head. Like the S at the beginning, it would have gone completely over my head on that.
Right.
Like until Jake put the idea in my head, then I was like, oh yeah. You're right, Jake.
Passing the blame.
But yeah, so he's embarrassed, of course, and walks off and starts going into the maze area.
Now, hold on. That panel right there could have used some word bubbles or thought bubbles or something, like narration or something right there.
Yeah, there's actually no thought captions in this book. It's all spoken.
And that's fine because some people are against thought bubbles, but something to fill the dead space. Now, it's beautiful artwork, so it's cruel to call it dead space.
Wasn't there a switch over from thought bubbles to thought captions now? Like it's the square box.
Yeah, I've seen that. Well, that's pretty clever thought too, like thought captions or narration even. Like just throw a square over it.
Yeah, she is very secretive throughout the book, Admiral, and it's really weird because it's like she already knows that she's going to be 2 steps ahead of her husband and everybody else. Like she can tell what the future holds. I don't know. Not a lot's explained, which I know that's on purpose. It just makes you want more because and this is the end. He's about to go in. He's about to become the maze runner. And I really like this shot. And you have no idea what entails inside that maze.
And this is all a preview book. This is an ash can to kind of, I guess, test the waters, maybe.
Well,
maybe David
that's
Bowie's
a hell of
the
an ash
nose.
can.
He
And
tested
there's some kind
it,
of big
and
tree.
everybody said, "Arvid, fucking jump in. Let's go."
Yeah, man. I want this artist to do the Hobbit, to do a
Right.
Hobbit book.
But when I first saw this, I immediately thought Chunin exams from Naruto, because there's the death tree, and then they got to go through this whole thing to get to it.
I don't know what you just said, but yeah, I agree.
And then it ends right here.
Is that the Holy Trinity? You've got the rise, the Holy Spirit. They got the Father. No, okay, no, that's not the.
No.
I was going to say, is the hand coming out of the water the Father?
No, that's the resurrection.
Yeah, guys, this book was phenomenal.
Dad wants his smokes.
And I say that a lot, but for this one, this was stellar. This was top notch. I absolutely loved it. This
it was so good. We had to
out of the top 5 that I had, and now I got to replace it and put it up there.
Yeah, we kind of like for all like the lighthearted ribbing. That book is one of the best that I've seen come out of the crowdfunding. Even it's just a preview book too. So good job, Arvid, man, and Oren. Great artwork, man.
There we go.
I'm excited for
we had to make
what's to come
just to be able to tease it.
Mm-hmm. No shit. Right. And Jake had to completely fabricate shit. Yeah. At the beginning,
some fake news on there.
I thought it said some. I didn't see the N. I thought it was an S.
All right,
see, we have our fact checkers.
Yeah, no shit. Thank you, Corey and Jeremy, for bringing that to my attention.
Every time Jake says something to me now, I'm just going to go to Corey and say, "Hey, Corey, I got to double check this with you."
Was this
Jake
a bad
sent me this DM,
part?
and I've got to like run it by you real quick.
Shit, that was totally my bad. Forgive me, Arvid.
Corey was completely corrected, and that's awesome that he caught it. None can say.
But yeah, I really enjoyed that one, and yeah, it just makes you want more. It leaves you wishing that you had answers to things.
Definitely want more of that book.
But
now, where's Arvid? Where's Arvid? He's got to be here.
I don't know if he's here or not, but I tagged him in the Twitter.
Yeah, man. When he launches that book, I want to talk to him. I want to actually talk to him and get Oren on here too. Is Oren? I don't know anything about Oren. I've never heard of him.
I don't either.
Does he speak English?
I would love to get Arvid on here.
What are you doing?
We're about to go into we don't have the books for this next one. We have the digitals. So I don't need to have this.
Wait a minute. That's not on some website, is it? Or is it like you have it? It's not on like a Russian website.
No,
I just got to say, one time this crazy shit happened to me on a live stream, no doubt. You got to watch out with those Russian sites. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You don't know what's going to pop up and bounce around.
If you're just joining us, go over to Pete Your Order's channel after this and just go watch his first 10 minutes of the show, and then
from yesterday.
That'll set the tone for the rest of it.
That's like a great way to start the year too. Was that my first stream of the year?
Yes, it was.
Holy
shit. You've been gone for 2 weeks, and that was your first show.
What a shit show, man. Totally worth the watch. Go watch the whole thing. Subscribe. Hit the like button.
All right. Let me get the files ready, because
let's do Mythicals, man. Now, Mythicals, there is some stuff to say about Mythicals. It's a cool story. There's a few things to talk about with this.
It's not fabricated on my part.
Yeah.
All right. Let me get up in here. Let's see.
I will say, in preface or whatever to this, that Mythicals 2 is a big improvement on Mythicals 1. I have not read Mythicals 3, and I'm curious to see where it goes, because it is an intriguing story. There's something going on here, and it's getting better. I'm curious though.
It's getting to it that we are
trying. We were talking about the cover of, was it Mythicals 2 or was it Mythicals 1?
It was
Mythicals 1. It was the cover by Dan. Was it Dan Dahl? No, Dan Dahl did that other book we were looking at.
Dan Dahl did the issue 1 cover.
No. Dan Dahl. I don't know if he did this or not, but we were talking about Dan Dahl when we were looking at Camelot's book. And again, you tried to feed me with misinformation, and
What are
I
you
was
talking
like,
about?
yesterday on the stream when we were looking, was it on the stream or after the stream? We were looking at Camelot's book, and then I was like, "Oh, is this Dan Dahl?" And then you were like, "No, Dan Dahl's the artwork underneath." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Remember the hot rod piece? We were looking at the hot rod piece, and I was like, "Oh, is that Dan Dahl?" And you're like, "No, Dan Dahl's the one underneath." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then as I'm looking at the hot rod piece, I'm like, "No, this is Dan Dahl. Look, it says Dahl right there."
All over the place, man.
Okay, fake news. Everybody agrees. Jake's fake news.
Fake news.
Just saying.
Don't trust them. You can't. He's just
you can't
there.
trust him.
It's for the clicks.
At least that's what I've been told.
All right, let's bring it up. The Mythicals by Hojo.
This piece is the one we're talking about. So who did this piece?
This is the cover for issue 1.
Yeah. But who's the artist for that? Go down. It's on the bottom. Oh, it is
Dan Dahl Rivera.
Oh, Dan Dahl. Was it this piece that we were talking about, or was it the hot rod piece? Did he do both?
I could have sworn this was the only one that we thought Dan Dahl did.
Hold on. While you're looking at this, I'm gonna go and then look it up just to make sure I'm not an idiot, which I probably am. It's all good.
But anyway,
go.
This is the Mythicals. It has to do with the wording. The titular character. For what it's worth, the titular character.
Ride and die.
And it's not it's not a bad cover. It's just
there's a few things to say about this cover. Oh, Bisley. Okay, you're right. You're totally right. You're not fake news.
Thank you.
Bisley was the one that did the hot rod piece that we talked about on Camelot's.
So I'm 1 for 2 then.
I retract what I said earlier. So that's complete waste of space. Now, as far as this goes, the coloring, I think, on this cover, the artwork is like it's pretty good. I think there's a few issues that I had with the coloring. The vampire guy blends in, and I'm not gonna go crazy, but there's something about this coloring that doesn't pop. It was kind of.
No, I want it bigger than that. Yeah, back to the way it was.
I don't know. Admiral Wackass says I'd buy that Biz cover, but not that Camelot book. What's wrong with the Camelot book? It looks fun. It looks cool. There's a lot out there to back, and when it comes to the stuff that I want to back, that's probably on the mid-tier list of things that I want to back. Maybe a little bit above the mid-tier list, but
so chapter 1, Prophecy and Protocol, part 1. Created and written by H. Wayne Desper, pencils Thomas, inks by Everson Lirio, colors by Diego Albuquerque, letters by Rick Joseph, editor Piper Steed, cover Dan Dahl. Okay.
All right.
So we're starting out in a nightmare, and you see the 3 witches burning, getting ready to be burned at the stakes. This is like a callback to the Salem witch trials. And then you have this demon character here just be like,
that one kind of is like Nancy.
And then she wakes up fucking scared out of her mind. And then she's over it in 2 seconds and looks at the clock. And
I mean, at that point, it's a nightmare, right?
Right.
Now, the artwork in this book kind of bounces between really awesome and like maybe like needing some more work.
Right.
There are parts that I'm like, wow, that was badass.
Yeah, like this panel right here.
Concepts.
The 4th panel where she's walking away, but somehow her reflection is still looking at her, and there's no eyes to like. It just shows that it's like a demon.
Yeah, it's like kind of reddish. Like
that's a pretty good shot.
Yeah.
And then up here, Chris pointed this out to us. Grody, he pointed this out.
The monster's still in
This is her television, and it's staticky, but you still see the demon from her dreams in it.
That's a
good idea.
I didn't realize that was a television. This page right here, there was that one thing that stood out to me.
Yeah. Oh, here's a nice little Easter egg. Here's Ironsides from Telepathic Bunny.
Oh, that's cool. Hey, I didn't know that. I didn't notice that.
Cool
I do like
Easter
that
egg.
there's background. I do like that. There's some people that don't put backgrounds.
Right.
Or put much
so anyway,
effort
she's
into
on the
background.
train getting ready to go to her first meeting or her interview for her new job. And then she gets this weird ass text, apparently again. So she's been getting them before. It says, they are watching you. Do not trust them. Can I help you? The blood of Luna will be spilled onto the cross. And then immediately he's like, huh? What? Where am I? What's going on?
There's weird
jump gas.
In this first issue, there's some weird jump cuts. I want to say the second issue is corrected, that kind of stuff. But in this first issue, there are these weird moments where it goes from the story, like scroll up a bit. Like we've got this guy above that, right above that. And then we'll go down. So we got this creepy looking dude on the bus. And then if you scroll down, she's looking at her phone. You scroll down, he's like leaning over her and he's like talking to her. And then he's like, oh, what? I don't know, what the hell just happened? And then immediately he's passed out, which tells me either she hallucinated that event, in which case she's crazy.
Yeah.
Or that dude just magically like teleported onto the seat, in which case I don't know what the hell's going on here. But then in the next panel, he's behind her, so clearly she's not crazy. So this panel where he's like passed out, like maybe he should just have, I don't know what to say about that. It's a weird
move.
Jump. Yeah, it's a weird move. There's
especially because the train's been moving now, like it's back to moving.
So that's a weird.
It does seem like showing him passed out probably doesn't feel all that necessary, because it kind of reminds me of something like from The Matrix, where it's like you have just like one of the agents jumps inside a person, says something, and then jumps out. The person doesn't even know they were possessed. You could have just had the person just still standing, and then
he should have had him like laying out on the ground.
Well, that's what panel. That's what this panel implies, is that he was just standing there and he's like, "Huh, what the hell's going on?" And then out of nowhere, just falls back asleep or falls to sleep. So
he's narcoleptic.
Sure, that's a hell of a bad guy. That would be an awesome bad guy if the bad guy's about to kick some ass and then just falls asleep randomly.
He's in the middle of his speech and just
if somebody doesn't beat me to that, I'm gonna put that in a comic where the bad guy just a narcoleptic and he just falls asleep in the middle of battle.
Corey says Andromenoids will have the best shower scene. All right, looking forward to that.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's working on a book right now called Andromenoids. It's a cyberpunk, type deal. And
I like cyberpunk.
Corey does not allow any ugly women in his books. They all are hot.
Awesome. That's the best. Are you gonna have a Kickstarter cover? You gotta have a Kickstarter cover.
Yeah, if he doesn't put on Kickstarter, it's gonna be a shame because he'd get a lot of coin for it. Well, here we go. You got this, girl. Let's dazzle them.
Yeah, she's like going to get a job interview, and then the receptionist is like, "Hey, ma'am, go ahead and just follow the path, and then you will, or please be seated or whatever, and they'll be with you in a moment." And another jump cut. What happened? Back to the beginning. Jump cut back to the beginning. That's what it's like. Well, I'm just kidding. So
had to see those assets again.
She's in this interview, and then they're like, okay, they'll be with you in a moment. Yeah. Next panel. Whoa, shit. That was it's like a weird jump cut.
Yeah. I've been startled by people, but I've never fully tripped over myself like that.
Then that's fine. I need a one panel before that, because she's talking to a receptionist. Next thing you know, she's falling on her ass.
Yeah. Go sit in the basement. They'll be with you in a second. 15 minutes later. Now, if he like screamed at her like, "Moon!"
Oh, yeah. And 15 minutes later, The 15 minutes later, it took me a second to catch because I was too busy looking at like, what the hell? Why is she tripping all of a sudden?
But anyway, so he's like, yeah, appreciate you being on time. Nice to meet you. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Tad clumsy. Yeah, okay, follow me.
Yeah,
Try
that
not to fall
explains.
down this time. So right out the gate,
It does
this guy's
explain
an asshole.
itself.
Right out the gate, this guy's an asshole. Follow me, please. Try not to fall down this time. Just all right. That's strike one, buddy. We'll see how you fare later on with your interactions. See, she even says it. Well, that's rude.
Now, make a note of this. That panel on the right, her face.
Yeah.
Not bad. Not bad. That's a good looking face.
It's pretty good.
And
Nostril, Nostril caught me off guard a little bit, but
scroll up a little bit real quick before we keep going. I know I don't want to do this all night long, but
right.
The face shape is something that I did have a critique on.
Okay.
Consistency with the face shape. That's a different face throughout the paneling. I would suggest finding a structure or like the structure of the face so that no matter what angle you're drawing and all that stuff, you know the proportions that are going to be in that face. You know what I mean? So that way it looks like the same person in every panel. So far, to this point, it is suspending disbelief, but because her suit and everything tells you who she is.
Right.
But in a moment, there's a completely different person.
Yeah. Like you see all the strands here, like showing that she's like rushed or worried, or maybe she just got knocked off her ass too hard right there. But right in the next scene, like her hair is back to being perfect.
That's not even something that because she could have just, did her hair. Girls can just
show that swipe that they do, like just right there.
Like in this panel right here, like she's brushing her hair back or something. And
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's not even what I was thinking. I'm thinking like the dimensions of the face. And that is
okay.
I mean, that's just art.
She's got the high cheekbone. She's got the high cheekbones, the sunken cheeks, Yeah.
That's something you kind of get better at as you go along. That's something I still work on, but it's something I'm aware of, and I try to keep tabs on my faces to make sure my characters look the same consistently, like throughout the story.
Right.
It's also artist discretion. You have a different artist in another book because in the second book she looks almost completely different, but that's because of a different. I'm assuming, is it a different artist?
Hojo brought something up about that.
Okay, what's up?
Let's take a look. Hojo, welcome to the show, man. Thank you for being here for this. There's
what's up, Hojo?
A reason we replaced Thomas. He wasn't quite ready for prime time, and Everson had the final say because he's the art director. Okay. Believe me, I was not as nice as you are being when it comes to this. Oh, so he's on the same page with us.
This panel right here we're looking at is the reason and the reason for the season, I guess you could say, because that is not the same face and that's not the same face. And I know I'm not trying to be an ass when I'm being a critiquing here on the stream and everything. These are just things that pop out to me as like something. I might have made the same mistake.
The eyes were trying to escape her head.
And so I want to like point that out and to keep, be mindful of that kind of stuff.
I could have done without this panel right here. This is just taking up space because this is a conversation that doesn't need to be had. So any trouble finding the place? Excuse me? I'm kidding. All the buildings look alike. At least we know you can read. Okay, that's strike 2 of being an asshole right there.
Is that the guy that's like on the cover?
Yes, this is the guy in the
Well, that sets up his character at least as being an asshole. He is an asshole.
There's a way of being,
But his costume changes, so I didn't even make the connection.
Yeah, it's the same dude.
Okay. He's his facial hair guy.
I could be wrong. My streak is not doing well tonight.
Well, no, you were right about the Dan doll. I was wrong about that.
Anyway, here we go. Moving on. Next page. Good morning, kitty. Miss Moon. Here's some more associates that you can talk to, and I can fill space and time with.
We've got how many pages now, or how much work? How much time have we gone through hallways?
We've got Kane and Lex Luger here for you. But yeah, we can move on to the second issue.
Hold on, because the first issue we're about halfway through it, right?
We're only on page 8 of 33.
Okay,
so
that's a lot of walking through hallways, talking, chit chat to get to the point. Like, we're going to a job interview. We get that. There's a lot of this banter going on. There's also this. Yeah, this is actually pretty cool. I do dig that there's this alternate thing happening. But I would have put this at the beginning.
Yeah.
Or maybe, and then lead in, like, go from this nightmare sequence of this demon doing this shit with priest, and then lead that into the nightmare that she wakes up from. Because there's these sequence where this is happening, and then we cut back to her in her interview. And then I think it cuts back to this, and then back to the interview. And I almost feel like, okay, these two events are going to eventually meet up by the end of this issue, but they don't. So I'm kind of thinking, for storytelling's sake, I would have put this scene at the beginning and then the end of the book, because they don't mesh at the end of this book. So I would have put this at the beginning, and then the second part of this I would have put at the end of the book.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah,
like you could even made this part of the nightmare sequence. Like, this is the build up in it. Like, she's going through this, and then the Salem witches, burning, and then him calling out Nancy. That could have ended it. With him, like,
he could have been the one calling out Nancy. I don't know if it's the same character or not, but it could have. But it could have had that demon in the background while he's torturing this priest. And then that guy could have said Nancy, and you'd been like, "What, Nancy?" And then Nancy could have woken up.
Yeah, these speech bubbles don't really line up very well for me. This happens a couple times. I didn't really notice it that much in issue 2. It's like issue 2 was really very cleaned up for the second launch, so I'm happy to see that. But confess unto me your sins. And then he's like, "Might we speak in private a moment, please?" No, you already kind of like terrorized him right here with your face, and then saying, "Confess unto me your sins." Go ahead and get into your torturing.
There's a part in the second issue that's kind of similar that I'm like, wait a minute, that's an inconsistency. But we'll get to that when we get to the second issue. But just to make a note of it.
Right. So we're on page 10 now, and he is now explaining, well, not really explaining. He's going through her history of what she's done. And it's a little odd because they make it seem like she's new and they don't know much about her. But at the same time, they've been following her for a while. In like the next couple pages, somebody says that they've been following her. But
there's a lot of filler. Right. That's by the end of this issue.
Peace out, Hojo. Hojo said he's going to have to head out.
Oh, hey, man, take it easy.
That makes a lot of sense, replay. What he was saying about it being split up into 2 issues, because I kept feeling like there was an issue for me with pacing and how a lot of the jumps felt like they were a little disjointed.
Right. So
this was supposed to be one long 50-page graphic novel, but I had to split it up into 2 issues. Okay, that makes sense.
Hey, we've all done that.
Oh, budgetary restrictions. Hell yeah. So he's the floppy guy. Headed to bed. Thanks for doing this. Hey, man. That does feel like the 2 first issues should have been one big book, but it does make sense that you got to break it up. So yeah, that totally makes sense.
Right. And it actually helped out because issue two cleaned up a lot.
I would have in that sense, in that regard, I would have adjusted the storytelling a bit.
Right.
Yeah. If that was the case. But that makes sense.
Relax, Miss Moon. I'm sure this is just in here as part of some of the search algorithm. Okay. Gives her water to keep her calm. She believes in right and wrong, good and evil. I just want to help people. So that's why she's trying to get this job.
Those are cool panels right there.
Yeah, I like this shot. This is good. A priest molesting altar boys for decades belongs in hell. There's no gray area in that. That's like a callback to something she doesn't know. You know, like that priest that was just about to torture the guy up above.
Hold on a second. I can't see. Can you move this
What?
out of my...
Get rid of Ocho.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, there we go. Sorry.
Yes, Corey, you would hire her.
Get him out of here.
Corey loves his dames.
Nice.
Anyway, so for some reason, she just like has a split second of having some kind of inner light coming out of her. Like she's about to, like she's foreseeing something. I don't know what happens here, but she finally snaps back, right? Like the bottle even breaks. She spills it. He's
kind of like pissing her off, right?
Yeah.
And it kind of brings out the witchcraft or whatever's going on with her.
Yeah, because he's talking about her history and she doesn't want to get into it. And then we're back to the priest that tortures.
All right, so this is like the other thing here. This is where the artwork is like pretty fucking awesome when it comes to this like the priest and the demon that's like torturing him and stuff. Compared to some of these other panels, the other part of the story, it's like I want to see this artist and you know what I mean, doing that, because this looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I do like his look. Like you can see kind of like his nose is decayed off, and he doesn't. It's almost like he doesn't have an upper lip. It's very grotesque,
like zombie
decaying flesh.
You get the sense, okay, this guy used to be a priest or a bishop or something, and in the afterlife, he's like a zombie, dead demon.
Like he's trying to get information out of him, but he doesn't have any for him.
So this is one of those like things where all this stuff is happening. He's trying to find out where the sword is or whatever, right? He's trying to find that weapon, and the priest won't talk. And so he's like, I'm going to torture you with the box. Or is that the second issue?
I feel like that might be this issue because there's the box right there, I think.
Okay, yeah. He brings out the box.
And that's a cool good shot inside the eye on the iris.
Yeah, the reflection. That's cool.
I like that.
And then we get like the torture happening. Mm-hmm. And this is not the end of the book. I feel like this should have been at the end of the book. But okay, keep going, because there's like a thing that happens. Here we go back to the interview. I feel like that should have just been up there with the interview. This demon thing, the whole demon sequence should have been at the beginning and the end of the story, because basically they're interviewing her and kind of talking to her right now. And she's kind of like bantering.
Yeah, you told me on the phone this was an entry-level position. Wouldn't you want someone slightly more experienced than me? I have like 0 field experience.
So this is like a government.
Yeah. So DOI has an excellent training program, and my staff is superb at what they do. They'll train you up, yada, yada, yada. Sir, we have a schedule to keep. There's Lex Luger again. Unfortunately, I have a meeting, so I'm going to have to cut the interview short. You're not the one that's been Oh, he is the one that's been giving the interview. Odd. I thought it was the other guy. So she walks off. She looks just like her, sir. I know, old friend. I know. So that's something that never comes back up in issue 2.
Not yet, at least.
Yeah.
So then she's hanging out with her buddy.
Hanging out with the buddy. She's looking all fine and everything. Corey, get in here. Drink it up. But they called you. They must have wanted you for a reason. Sure. So she's just out with her friend. And there's the creep from the bus.
There's that train. So she's not crazy.
No.
That dude's definitely following her. Yeah. That's
and then there they go. They're about to go their separate ways. She's about to give her this like little pendant,
which is kind of odd when you understand that this girl that she's talking to is somebody she just met recently, and now they're besties, and to the point where she's giving her some kind of heirloom or something.
Yeah, it says right here. I'm going to miss you, Nancy Moon. It was nice to meet you. Someone interesting down here in DC. And you're giving. I feel like this might be a lesbian who's drunk, who's trying to get some.
Yeah, well, aren't they all? They're all just
Kinda.
Yeah, but there's no men there to impress, so I don't know about that.
Right.
Usually those lesbians are just trying to impress some dude.
Anyway, dude from the train shows up again. The demon starts taking over, and
he's like, "No, I'm just kidding.
And he fucking breaks her neck.
I like that. I like that he like grabs the friend by the throat. And there's a caveat to that at the end. And he just like snaps that fucking neck, dude. And she's like,
look,
no!
this is still the front of her body. So that thing does a full 360 twist.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then she's like, oh my God, my friend.
Nancy's crying over a girl she just met.
That she like had bonded with and gave her a medallion to.
Yeah.
And he just tosses that chick aside and her neck's all busted and broken. I like that. And then our team shows up. Now, I didn't realize that. I guess you're right. This is the same guy that was like walking her through the hallways.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like him.
It is.
But he's like a different costume.
Hairstyle, glasses.
Yep.
And then they start blasting him away. Careful, Lucas. We can't kill the host. Okay.
You got to be nice to the host. It's like Stargate rules.
Those wounds right there would kill the host.
Well, okay.
That is lung penetration.
That's a good point, because if the demon can heal the host, then do you really have to be careful with the host? And the guy just shot up that host. It's like if it's Gua'uld rules.
Not only does he shoot him up, he fucking drop kicks him.
He's like, fuck that host. And when you later learn, the host is kind of like partially responsible. So do you really have to care about the host?
No, not at all.
You don't.
Because he's smiling. He's not even phased. Mm-hmm. He wants more.
Yep.
He even notices. He's like, well, damn. And then he gets his fingers thrusted into. Have you guys ever had somebody else's fingers thrusted into you so maliciously?
Phrasing.
And then finally, because the other two guys didn't want to do anything, they were just standing there watching their leader, just taking damage. Then they decide to jump in. He looked like how nonchalant. He's like, I guess I got to jump in now. Blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
He's like, join us, vampire. I can make you a better deal than this. Nah, I'm good. I'm no errand boy. And then the real power comes out. I like this shot. The blue fire. I think that's really cool. Yes, you still with me?
I was going to say, what happened to Peter? Did he die?
Oh, I have no idea. But something must have happened. Anyway, we have unfinished business, you and I. And I really like this page just because it contrasts so much with the rest of the book, where we're just been stuck downstairs in the basement in an office for the longest time. So when I saw this was totally refreshing.
Get some cool action going. A little fight scene. It gets exciting.
This is great. If the book had more of this, would have been great. Because vines are popping up. She has no idea that she's able to do this until she gets upset and angry. Blood's pumping. She's just.
I got a question.
Are taking over
on a side, on a side note.
Okay.
Why is it? And this has nothing to do with Hojo or this book or any of that stuff. Why is it a trope that you have to get upset for you to realize you have powers? It's the X-Men. you know, when they're like adolescents and hormonal and they get angry and they can realize, oh, I'm a mutant, or you're coming of age, you get real emotional. Why are powers always connected to like uncontrollable emotion?
It kind of plays into actual like reality, because when you see like your child hurt or something like that, you get this bust of adrenaline and strength that's unmatched for some reason. I don't know how it happens,
Something that's
but
relatable, I
I've
guess.
seen a video of a father working under his car, right? And for some reason, the car like drops off the safety pillars under the car or whatever, and it falls on him, right? And you can see his legs just struggling, like he's about to be crushed. And out of nowhere, his teenage son somehow picks that shit up enough for him to be able to crawl out of there. So it very much plays into like,
well, and to weeb out for a second, Gohan always had his powers.
yes.
We always knew Gohan was like powerful, but
Mhm.
we didn't know how powerful until Cell basically killed everybody, including his
Right.
dad. And it wasn't until his dad's ghost came in to help him in the last ditch attempt to do a Kamehameha wave against Cell, which is the most epic moment in Dragon Ball Z. Should have ended there, and I say it all the time. That's where Dragon Ball Z ended for me. It should not have kept going. The moment where Cell is so powerful he kills everyone, and now he's up against the kid who we know is powerful, but we don't know how powerful. And it wasn't until the help of his ghost dad came in, and together they did this overpowering Kamehameha wave against Cell. That moment is beautiful. It's like up there with Darth Vader choosing Luke over the Emperor kind of moment. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
even in the Saiyan saga, when Raditz first comes to Earth and throws Gohan in the pod and is ready to take him away, he sees Goku and Piccolo both defeated. His power level spikes up to 10,000. That's higher than when Goku fought Nappa right out the gate, because Goku only had 9,000.
that was way back, though. That was like at the beginning.
So he
Cell's
had
like
some dormant power.
But Cell's way more powerful than all that.
Of course. I'm just saying we've seen that spike in Gohan where he gets this rush of emotion.
That's like great storytelling, because we understand that, but it's always tied to emotion, I guess is the point, to bring it all back around. It's always, why is it always tied to emotion? Men are supposed to be emotionless, right? We're supposed to be practical. And this is like a thing I'm criticizing all storytelling, because it's cool once, cool twice, cool 3 times, then I'm kind of done, right? I want to see like some dude harn his skill through like physical labor. You know what I mean?
It even happened in Harry Potter, right?
Yeah, he gets emotional and angry, and then he throws his stepbrother into the snake pit to like murder him. Yeah, it's emotions. That's a girl thing.
Harry Potter.
Yeah.
You sure that's not Indiana Jones?
Now, granted, Harry Potter was written by a woman, so it makes sense. But you know, Batman. I know Batman doesn't gain powers from his emotion; he just has that tragic past. But
so I'm glad in this book we finally got some more action and everything. But it all could have been alleviated or deviated from if they just held him down and did this spell right then and there.
Well, Hojo, oh, that's true, but you got to be emotional. Now, Hojo says because magic is based on emotions, but is it though? I don't know if it is. It's based on
emotion.
I guess
just
you're
makes
kind
more
of
powerful.
Right. I guess emotion does play into magic,
because emotion just makes it more powerful. You got to be calm and collected to actually cast it. But once you actually learn how to do it, I think emotion just builds up the power behind whatever you're about to cast.
It also depends on what we're talking, because I don't remember ever growing up thinking emotion tied into magic. It was like how well your hibbity jibbity poem skills were. If you could like rhyme it, you know, just right.
It was then, like Green Lantern powers.
Erectus gigantus.
Yeah, but what kind of Green Lantern? Because Grok says that I'm a Green Lantern. And it says that Jake's a Blue Lantern.
That's right.
Green Lanterns are better. Everybody knows Green Lanterns are better than Blue Lanterns.
Nah. The reasons that Green Lanterns and Blue Lanterns work so well is because the emotion is right next to each other on the spectrum.
No, I guess that makes sense.
That's why when you get like an orange
Well,
ring.
did you read Blue Lantern number? Was it 15? Blue Lantern number 15?
I did not know.
That's because it doesn't exist. Because there's only Green
Go
Lantern
fuck
comics.
yourself.
I was just about to say, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure there is no Blue Lantern. No one cares about the Blue Lanterns.
Blue Lanterns are awesome. The Blue Lanterns and the Indigo Tribe are fucking phenomenal. I don't care what anybody says. But
the emos of space.
To be fair, I don't know anything about the Green Lanterns or Blue Lanterns. I'm a Marvel zombie, not a DC. What do they call DC? I actually asked AI once. Marvel has their fans. They're called Marvel zombies.
Right.
What are the DC fans?
Right.
That's not what it is. Grok said something else. I can't remember what it was.
Well, right now they'd be fart sniffers.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's good.
That's
a good one. Or butt lickers.
Whatever. You guys are trying to make Spider-Man gay over there. Shut up.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the battle's over with. Everybody's back together and everything. We'll explain. Everything will be explained in tomorrow's debrief.
Oh, maybe that's what it needed was like a. No, I'm not sure. Like we were talking yesterday on my stream, before the interruption. I was talking about Nexus and how he did these blurbs for the next page of the book because it was supposed to be newsprint, like newspaper storytelling, right?
Right.
So page by page, there could have been like a up next. Will we get a this and that, or because this story reminds me of like Buffy the Vampire Slayer meets Alias, and there's there's a few other story. I don't know what you call that, but anyways,
like this character here, this is John Redcorn's son, all grown up.
What the hell? Damn it, boy! That boy ain't right.
He's got the magic. He opens up a magic wormhole. Everybody goes back to base, and she's sniffing over Catherine that she just met that night. Yeah. And then the demon comes by, says, "Rise, my child." She's up. She corrects her neck, bows down.
That is a badass panel of the demon. That is badass.
I like that.
I want that artist on this whole book.
So maybe this is the priest, because I'm getting the same kind of feeling with the lower part of the jawline and the nose, like, because he doesn't have any nose or upper lip really. So I'm wondering if this is like the actual form of the priest.
The priest or the demon priest? That's like the demon bishop.
The demon priest.
The demon is he a priest or oh, it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. Reverent.
Demon.
I don't think it is. I don't think it's the same. I don't think it's the same entity.
To be continued.
But if it is, then that would have been a great segue to end.
That is a good cover.
That is some awesome artwork right here.
Yeah.
I would have taken the demon and the priest thing, the demon bishop thing and the priest. I would have split that from the beginning and the end. You could have tied it into the dream sequence and then brought her into it and then done her whole story arc and then end it with a cliffhanger with that priest demon. That's just me. And granted, it's like first issue, so there's always going to be like, oh yeah. That would have been something. Or no, you don't know what the hell you're talking about because I've got my story, and both are fair. This is just as a reader what I'm kind of picking up and I'm looking at if I was going to be critiquing it.
Oh,
I really like how
and Nancy roommates.
Yeah, right.
Oh, they went to college together for years. That's something I didn't pick up on. I thought they had just recently met each other because she was in DC and she was going home. Yeah. So I assumed she was just in there for the weekend or something and they met friends. Maybe there was a mention of college or something, longtime friends.
If this is the same vampire, I like this style more. I like the Lobo eyes.
Oh, yeah. Who's this? Who's the artist on this? This is a cool piece. I do like that.
Kevin McDougall.
Oh, this is some pretty cool artwork, man. Like, this looks badass. I'm like thinking, Morbius or something like that.
No, I like this one.
Fucking awesome.
Hell yeah. Is a fucking awesome design.
Yeah. Was this a cover? or was that just like a fan art? What was going on?
I don't
with
know
this
if this was
piece?
a print or something, but yeah, it looks good.
That looks cool.
All right, we're getting ready to dive into issue 2.
Yep.
The wolf is at the door. Okay, so let me get ready to load that one.
Oh, it's a fan art. That's what he said. That's pretty cool, man. That was some good art.
That as a cover. That was.
I gotta recommend no pink covers. Get rid of that pink. The pink.
It reminds him too much of Pitter Patter. He's having PTSD.
No. Pitter Patter did it right. No. What I'm saying is, like, with this cover and the first cover, the pink skies and all that, it reminds me of the Shifter, Dojo's Shifter, his adaptation of the Shifter. And one of the critiques we had was the purple and pinks. It's like, who's your audience? Who are you selling this book to? And when I see these pink covers, I'm not sure if this is the audience you're selling that cover to. The third issue with the cat face, that is a badass cover. That actually intrigues me. I want to read about it. This is not bad artwork. I'm not knocking the artwork at all. I'm just saying the color. Yeah, the color schemes are kind of like that cat blends into the bench, but
yeah,
the color schemes with the pinks and stuff, that's a rough one to sell to this audience. I just got to say.
It's not a rainbow.
If everybody just focuses on the girl and knows that she gets on her knees a lot, as you can tell by her jeans.
Yeah, look at that.
No, that's just the style.
Man. Oh, that's just the style. Ah,
yeah, torn jeans. Yeah. You can get them anywhere.
The covers, you got to think. The covers are telling part of the story. The cover is supposed to get the reader intrigued into the story. I'm not sure. This is a beautiful piece of artwork, but I'm not sure how somebody's going to be walking through a comic book shop and see this and go, "Oh shit, I need to know. I need to read."
Yeah, this is this is more Alice in Wonderland than, Buffy or Alias or Hellboy or.
You know what this tells me? This is the first page of the next book, or you know what I mean? This is like a page of the book. This is not cover art.
Chapter 2, Prophecy and Protocol, Part 2.
All right.
Now, I gotta say, even though this one was cleaned up a lot, it hurt me to get through all of the
there's a lot of exposition,
narration and exposition. Yeah.
The artwork greatly improved.
Yes.
There's some issues that I personally have that these guys don't agree with me on, but with like the checkerboard stuff.
See, I thought that was good because again, it broke up the mundane, like sitting here in
all the checkerboard. There's a lot of this checkerboard flooring, and if the cat tends to blend into that a lot, it gets confusing at parts. For me, this is just me. You could have maybe done something with the coloring to correct that, but that's just me as far as the art, and that's pretty much what I got to say for the artwork. Because the artwork is way better in this book. The girl looks more consistent throughout in this book. She looks better in this book.
I like it because it plays into my conspiracy theorist side where Illuminati and Freemasonry goes hand in hand with like demonic shit. So that's why I accepted it.
The cat looks like an orange cat. In the first one, he was like orange, like black, lots of black scratches. This cat has more personality, more character. Obviously, it's not just a cat anymore. We realize the cat can talk, and so the artwork. There are a few panels that I got, like this one right here. A few panels that I'm like, ooh, that's bad move. That's a bad expression on her face. If you grow up a little bit,
yeah,
bad angle.
There's something long and eggplanty to go there.
Oh God, I was thinking trying to eat a big burger, but we can go there. Yeah,
there's something wrong with the.
That's not how you make those lips if you're going at a burger.
And there's the nose and the eyebrows. There's a ridge. There's some art issues with that, but again, there's some really good artwork in this, and that hallway is super narrow in that one panel.
Yeah. Actually, in both panels, 3 and
that is a very narrow.
2.
And those tiles are those like a half of like they're like 6-inch panel like tiles, and not all the tiles are colored in an even checker pattern. Some tiles got missed, which is the problem with doing tiles like that. If you miss a couple tiles, they kind of stand out. And if you're gonna miss a tile, then put the cat in that tile so you can see the cat, because the cat disappears in that shit.
Yeah. See, I liked this. This was cool to me.
I like the intricacies, but I don't like all that checker pattern shit.
It didn't belong on the ceiling. Could have gone with something different there, but for the floor, like leading into like their
well, there's a clash
logo. Yeah.
There's a clash of styles here. If you go up, I don't know what is it, a Roman or something. If you go up to the top of the roof, just like scroll to the top of that. So you see that like weird square. That's what is that, like Roman?
This is kind of like Greek, yeah.
And then
Greek
you've got this Victorian black and white checkered, and then you've got the Greek pillars. You've got a clash of styles, and then you got masonry and shit going on the bottom there, I guess. Well, hold on now. I know what that blue is. That means there's an ad about to pop. Okay, hold on. Whew.
And then we get this little Rush Easter egg over here. I love Rush.
Those that brick in the background is like yellow against a red wall. Like that should have been red. There's a lot of little art critiques I would have put in regards to this page. That's a lot of detail. It looks cool, but there's a lot of clashing thoughts processes going on here.
But I love Rush. I accept that any day.
Oh yeah. Is it hovering? What's it what's it attached to?
Oh. Maybe it's hovering. I don't know.
Like all the other panels right there. Like I would have put some thought. Like I forget which one it was. Like I want to say John Malin or somebody was talking about, or maybe Ethan. They were talking about how when you have a room like this, you design the room where everything is in that room, and then you make it all make sense. I'm seeing a lot of posters above, like hanging over posters. Now, some posters are on these weird little pillars that stretch out. Like you go to a convention and people have their posters, but a lot of this is like just hanging in midair. And the problem with that is it doesn't make sense. I don't see like a tripod or anything behind it. It could have been holographic, possibly, but that might have suggested a technological level that is not in this story, right? They may not be that. So,
right. We got some random Easter eggs over here. Not only Rush, I just noticed we have Star Wars with Darth Vader, and then I think this is Michael Myers' mask.
Is that? Or yeah, you might be right about that. Like this is all like tied together. What map is that? What is that a map of?
Greece. That's ancient Greece.
Okay.
Or just Greece.
Or just Greece.
And then the stuff on the left over there, up and to the left of the screen, are those gears? What are they attached to? I'm not seeing the physical, and this is the artistic thing here. Something to consider. What is all this shit attached to? Is it just a bunch of artifacts and posters, kind of just randomly splayed about? What are they? Where are the connections? There's no tripods behind those posters, so they're literally floating in air.
Maybe that's part of the magic being done. They just float.
Hey, that'd be kind of cool. Actually, that would actually be a cool explanation. Like they do just hover because they got magic. Yeah. Like Harry Potter, he's got the candles floating up in the ceiling. Do something maybe to suggest that's the case, or put something on those panels
or something.
Even. They're just blank
on the sides.
They're just blank pages hanging up to fill space. It feels like there should have been either dialogue in that section or something. I'm just saying, as an artist, that's something I'm going to look at and go like, "Ooh, yeah!" Like, ew.
So as soon as we get in here and we actually start chit chatting with it, everybody's an asshole to each other.
Everybody is kind of an ass,
except this guy. Now he's suddenly horny for the new chick,
and this guy. Okay. The character looks completely different than the previous issue, but I like this version better.
He looked more menacing. This one looks more like
charming, quirky, kind of like he's got a personality. He's not your typical Dracula. He's like he's a person.
Yeah,
you know,
he likes the Hot Topic look, but you can tell there's something more going on with him. It's not really who he is.
Yeah. Again, with all this checkerboard flooring, it draws attention. That's the problem. It draws attention, and the first thing I want to look at is all that brick and all that checkerboard, and then I start reading all the words. This guy's got an Antifa shirt on.
It's an anarchy.
I thought that was anarchy.
I know, but it's the logo. The problem with the anarchy logo is that Antifa co-opted it. Just like you can't put rainbows anywhere anymore. I had to take all the rainbows off my car because it means something completely different now.
These chicks at this place really love their midriff.
Yeah.
And her bra, apparently.
Well, that's a nice touch, though.
That's not the same. But anyway, the way this chick just goes and lunges out to give a hug to somebody she just met, I want her to die in the 3rd issue.
Well, she can't die. She's 100 years old or something. She's a couple hundred years old.
I know, but I want her to die in the next issue.
They make an awkward point.
One person nice, you're like, kill them now. That's too nice.
Well, that's because
this place, it doesn't belong with the rest of them,
right? She's like the one, like not super nice. They make a point, kind of an awkward point, to point out that she's a couple hundred years old. A lot of exposition again in these conversations. Everybody's talking to each other while referring to their past and all this other stuff.
Yeah, and then we go back to.
Then we get back to this. This should have been the beginning of the book. We've got to start and end this, in my opinion. Got to start and end the story with this sequence because this is obviously happening separate. You can't just intermingle it. You got to it's an ominous thing that you want to begin and end your book with, in my opinion, because it sets the tone of the book. And we're talking about evil and demons and shit, so you start and end it with that. You're going to be left with a little bit of despair, and you want to follow that up in the next issue. There is something about this scene right here that's the legit critique. All the rest is just me talking and whatever. This demon is torturing this priest, and he's like, "Oh, I got this box, and I'm gonna fuck you up with this box." And the priest is like, "Fuck you, God is on my side, the Lord is my savior. I will not betray him, and I will not give you the location of the sword." And then the demon's like, well, check this box out. And then the guy's like, "Yay!" He's like, "Aye, shit." And then if you scroll down, which is impressive. I'm impressed by this priest so far. He's holding out, right? And then the clock clangs, it clangs, and the priest is like, "Oh shit." He's like, "Fuck." And then the demon is like, "Fuck, I don't need you anymore anyways," because he just pulls the sword out of the floor because it was underneath him the whole time. So he didn't even need the priest. And there's no suggestion that the priest knew it was under the floor. Right. It was like, "I won't fucking tell you. I won't fucking tell you." And he's like, "Oh shit, the clock strikes 10 or whatever." And then the fucking sword comes out of the floor. That's weird. That didn't make any sense to me. And now he's all powerful. And the priest is like, "Oh, fuck." Again, with that mouth. Fuck. Awkward position. And hold on, go up. It is perfectly aligned with that dude's dick. Not to be a complete ass, but you got to look out for that shit. People will call it out. I'm not joking. That's me telling you, look out for that shit, bro. Have you watched Trash Cast? When they went over Mike Miller's book, he was spot on. We're at dick level, and that priest's mouth is open, and that fucking demon is about to whoop it out, bro. Just saying.
Hit him with the other sword.
You got to be mindful of that. And then the demon's like, "I am going to fuck you up so bad." And then the priest is like, "I will do anything you want." All of a sudden, that priest went from being a noble badass to kissing the feet of this fucking dickhead.
Yeah.
And now it's out of character. Why? Because then the demon just fucking stabs him anyways. So that priest just betrayed himself after now an issue and a half of being a badass. He just betrayed himself in one panel by kissing the feet of this demon after the demon pulled the sword from the floor for no reason, apparently. And now he's stabbing the priest. So it's complete waste of honor and ability.
Yeah, and then he flips again and he says, "I shall go now and walk with my Lord."
Yes,
dude, you just turned on him.
You just pulled the clock, whatever the crows 3 times, and Peter betrays the Lord, and now he's like stabbed. He's like, "Oh fuck me." And then the demon's like, "Yeah, you're fucked, bro," as he walks away because he just raped or mouthed them or whatever.
And the 4th pillar has arrived.
Hey guys,
hey, what's going on, man? You just missed it. I'm trying not to be an ass, but this one scene did piss me off about this book because it betrayed the priest's integrity, his honor. And we're reading the Mythicals right now. We're on issue number 2. If you've been keeping up, we're at a moment where this priest who's been fighting a demon, like the demon's got him like tied up, gagged and bound, and he's like, "You're going to tell me what a sword is." The priest is like, "No, I won't. No, I won't." And then the clock strikes 10 or 12, and then the demon pulls the sword from the floor, and the priest is like, "Ah, shit." He starts kissing the feet of the demon in one panel, and then gets stabbed to death in this panel. And the priest is like, "Oh, I'm back on the Lord's side."
Yeah. And then out of nowhere, he says, "Father, forgive my weakness. I have failed you." And the Father shows up.
The only redeeming...
You're going to be received into paradise. So
that's the one redeeming thing about that is that he betrayed him. He says, "I'm sorry, Lord." And that gives you the opportunity to have the Lord actually speak, which tells the reader the Lord is present in this whole story here. The Lord is there. I feel like there's a better way of getting that across than this badass priest being defiant to the demon and then at the last second succumbing to the demon and then dying and then going back to the Lord. And I feel like there's a better way to tell that. Just saying.
Right.
That's just me.
So we're back at the base. We're seeing these blips coming up across Canada, North America, and Europe, and they're what are called piercings. It's where a bunch of different mystical stuff starts popping up, and it's like the portal between worlds, apparently. And so they're there. They're explaining it to her. She's trying to.
And a lot of exposition going on here.
Yeah, there's a lot of bubbles.
That's a lot.
More bubbles.
More bubbles.
We're finally out of there. And this is apparently where the cat hangs out, but I don't see any litter box.
Now, hold on. Because I'm complaining about black and white checker flooring. The problem with it is if you stop the consistency of black and white checker flooring, it becomes obvious, like in panel 1 and panel 2 here. It's like, I am done with the blacking out of all these checker patterns. Don't do it. Don't go there. Just make it techno flooring or make it just a tile. Don't go checkers, bro. Checkers is a pain in the ass. And it's just bad aesthetics. Because if it's
again,
not
she gets a text that says, "Do not trust them, Nancy. I'll be in touch when it is safe. Tell no one."
Now, they've just saved her ass. And she's getting text messages from some unknown person.
Yeah.
And now they just saved her and they're interviewing her and she's like kind of getting an understanding of what the hell's going on here. And yet she lies to them. They just saved her. Yeah. Clearly they're the good guys. But somebody's telling her something on her cell phone. They're government, so you'd think they would know what's going on anyways.
Right.
And so she lies to them anyways. Like if I was her, I would have been like, I'm getting these weird texts, by the way, from some weirdo I don't know. Like your government, maybe you can find out who the hell's been texting me this shit.
Yeah. And the cat's explaining to her that after all this paranormal, demonic stuff takes place, They bring up the Bible, and the cat tells her that this goes much deeper than the Bible. This is before it. We're talking about ancient, primordial, mystical beginnings. So even though God's going to be part of this, as we've seen, apparently there's something that starts before that.
And now we go back to the Cletus Cassidy here.
Yeah.
I was just going to say our next scene here is in Arkham.
Yeah. And this is another thing I'd say call out, but it's just me being annoying. Let's just say that. I would just be a pest. The Jack the Reaper shit.
Yeah.
Unnecessary.
I might have to call it a night, guys, but don't worry. Stan's here to cover my shift.
All right.
For me from here on out.
Sorry for talking over you, man. I know I talk a lot.
You're good.
Take it easy, man. It's good seeing you, Grody.
Good seeing you.
All right. So they're kind of, interrogating, questioning the demon and everything.
Right. So Stanley, this is a demon that killed this girl's bestie, which is where she learns that the people that she was interviewing a job for is actually like alias. She's like trying to get a government, what do you call that? A government
job position
in the occult sector. And so she's realizing that this is the team. They just saved her from this guy who just killed her friend. He's like possessed by some entity. And in this sequence, he explains he's the entity that is also known as Jack the Ripper. And they're interrogating him. Yeah. I don't like that it's Jack the Ripper. For one,
it's an odd choice.
It's an odd choice because, like, we need some, and they make mention, we got a celebrity here. It's an odd choice in the sense that we also, at the same time around roughly this book came out, we also got, was it Jack the Ripper Vampire Slayer over at Stuntman Comics? So it's kind of odd that some of these ideas tend to all happen at the same time.
Overlap, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like Jack the Ripper's an odd one for multiple people to take. So I'm curious who did it first. Not that it really matters. In this book, it's kind of odd because they're interrogating this demon here. The demon's like, I'm going to tell you the whole fucking spiel, but not exactly the whole spiel. And then eventually they're just like, fuck you, bro. We're going to cast you back into hell after all this exposition here.
Yeah.
Is there any purpose to having him as Jack the Ripper?
Not yet. Other than we know the character Jack the Ripper, and this is like, okay, we can use him as, something that people know. He's like a demon.
Jack so we're getting ready to send him back to hell where he came from.
So this mage guy, yeah.
So there's Jack the Ripper right there. There's the spirit of Jack the Ripper being tossed out of the human.
And then thrown into a hole.
Yeah. And so you think that's the end of it. So we're back. We're back. Back
to the exposition. This is where it got incredibly brutal. It was reading through all of this. Because we had some action for a minute, and then there's so much to read.
I actually had to put the book down and take a minute to regather because it was so much.
Same here. And then we were doing these like cuts, scene cuts to like different moments. Apparently, these two characters had to go find somebody. They're on the hunt to go find a new member of the team.
Yep.
While the newest member is being acclimated. They got to go bring back an old member of the team. And that's this guy. And he's chopping wood. And there's a lot to be said about this. This guy's chopping wood. He's like a badass. Look at him. He's ripped as fuck. And he's chopping wood. And he's like holding that log. And she's like, hey, we need you. And he's like, fuck you. I'm retired. And then he's like, listen, bitch, I'm done with your shit. And the fucking agent is like, you don't call her a bitch. And he pulls a gun on him. While they're trying to recruit him, they're like, listen, motherfucker, you're good. Like they pull a gun on him.
Yeah.
That's very aggressive when you're trying to get somebody out of retirement.
Yeah, if you're trying to play this scene up, you should have had the guy with the axe attack first, and then they retaliate.
I got a problem with this. Like, if you're blonde Chris Angel and you've got the spike gauntlets on,
oh yeah.
What are you doing saying no? Like, you are invited.
This is like he's retired.
8th time today somebody has asked him to go on
now,
some
hold
kind
on.
of crazy quest.
Now, you're right. But hold on, scroll up, Jay. Right here. Artwork looks cool. This is scroll up.
I had an issue with this one.
Hold on, scroll up.
You don't even see it really connect with her. You just see it happen kind of like off the panel to assume. I don't like that. I want to see it actually connect with the bitch. That way her transformation
scroll up. Go up. Real quick. I'll make it quick. That's Todd McFarlane's art right there on the far right. Dude, that's some good art.
Yeah.
I like that face. That's a cool face. I want to see that artist throughout the whole book. Now, Hojo commented, the sword was actually in the clock. I did not get that. It was a broken clang. A broken clang. Tizona has powers that makes people scared. Okay. I have to show, not tell. That makes sense. Yeah, I agree with that. I did not get that, but now that you say that, the box is what told me that he has the power to instill fear and pain, because he says that box is going to make every nerve ending like enraged with pain or whatever, right? I got that part, but it looked like the sword came out of the floor. But that makes sense because the clock did clang and then the sword came out. But it still doesn't make sense in the fact that like the priest is hiding this thing and he's not going to tell because he's very devout man and he's not going to reveal the secret. But then the broken clock gave it away, I guess. And then the demon pulled the sword out of the clock. So the whole interrogation is pointless.
Yeah.
At that point. And his betrayal is also pointless at that point. Right? It's an interesting series of events now that makes a little bit more sense, but I did not get that when I was reading it.
Right.
Now this guy, that's pretty cool artwork right here. I do like that. I warned you. Now I don't understand why the guy instantly pulled a gun on him. I'd be like, bro, I warned you.
I like the hanging the angle and holding that axe like that. Like that's one of those things you do.
Yeah.
I've had so many people sitting in the oil field, I've literally had 3 or 4 people who they want to look tough. The first thing they do is they take that big axe or that big hammer,
by the tip of the handle,
and they hold it by the tip of the handle. They hold it out to your face like that. That's a tough look.
I actually did that to my boss one time.
Yes, we've all done it once.
Yeah, I was actually working in a machine shop, and they had me chopping up an old trailer so I could build a fire pit so that I could heat up an old fucking cast iron pump to 3,000 degrees or whatever. Anyways, the boss, he used to piss me off. He came out one time when I was chopping wood in 110 degree weather, and I'm like, my brain's melting out there. I'm chopping all this shit, and he's coming out there to yell at me, and I hold that axe out just like that, and I'm like,
Yep.
What's up? Yeah, what's up? And then I put it over my shoulder and I start walking because I can't hear him. He's an old man, and he's an ass, by the way. He totally deserved to get the fear of God put into him. But I walk up to him like, I can't hear you. It's it is totally a very intimidating thing to have an axe over your shoulder or to hold it at that particular angle, on the tip like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hard thing to do. Anyone who's ever actually tried to hold an axe or a hammer, like a sledgehammer.
Yep.
I've never had that issue. You guys are just weak.
Well, that's because you've never done it. Don't even lie to me.
I've had them in my face like that before. I've seen that angle on
Stanley, you missed it. We've already established that Jake here is a liar and a misinformation propagandist because he lied to me at least 3 times in this one stream alone.
Oh my god. Oh, it was one time. But I like how we see him mid transformation and he just throws that huge ass log at her. but I want to see it actually connecting with
Yeah,
her.
I want to see, like, her body could have come over the next panel on top and been like, oof, like a big oof.
But you see the wings are starting to come out of her down here, so everybody's getting ready for a real boss fight.
Yeah, big old rumble.
He turns big werewolf. She turns into demon, hot demon, by the way.
What is she, a siren, or what's going on here?
I don't know
what
she
she's
is.
supposed to be.
And then he's like, oh, shit, I'm out of my league.
Yeah, that dude's like, fuck, I should have pulled that gun on him for no reason.
That's the dude that starts everything. It's always it's always the little guy.
He's like, I shouldn't have pulled that gun on him for no reason. No wonder I was fired from the NYPD or whatever.
And then out of nowhere, she gets an attitude after everything's explained.
That was odd.
Like, I'm not going anywhere until you tell me how I fit into all this. She's like, calm down, Miss Moon. No.
She's
PMS.
Like, you know what it is? She's like, I've fucking had it with all this exposition and talking. I am fucking sick of it. And she blows up. And then she gets emotional and blows up. But showing her powers.
Hurts the kitty.
Unhinged is in the chat. What's going on?
I'm sorry.
She's like, holy shit. I just fucked up.
This is an anime shot right here. The way the eyes bead into worrisome, like she knows.
I like that. I like it when you can get, like, I know it's simplistic, but when you can convey emotion very simplistically like that, I think that speaks volumes myself.
The problem is it's not consistent because we haven't been getting these emotional reactions throughout. From anybody. That's the first time you get kind of a cartoony expression.
Yeah.
And it works, but it needs to be a little more consistent.
Gotcha.
To fit in it. That's my thoughts.
Okay. So we're back. Everybody's calmed down, so we go back to more exposition.
Yep.
And then you kind of notice that this chick almost looks like this chick.
Which they alluded to in the first issue.
Right.
She's even wearing the same colors.
But shouldn't you be, black, racist?
I don't understand that. What was that? What did that mean? Because of all the things they had to explain in this book, the one thing they don't explain at all is that she's like, oh, I understand what that is. What was that thing? And Stanley, tell me if you know what this thing is. Scroll up. Damn it, Jake. Scroll up. What is that right there? Not really the last
the text on here.
Okay. Well, that sounds fun. Not so fun. What is the she's on the far right, she says a familiar. Hey, I know what that is. That's the one thing I don't know what a familiar is. What's a familiar?
A familiar is what keeps the spirit or demon on on this astral plane. So if you don't have a familiar and that familiar gets injured, whatever that entity that rides with that familiar is no longer able to work among us.
Like the spirit of vengeance
is grounded in our dimension.
Like in Ghost Riders, the spirit of vengeance is in Blaze. Got it. Okay. But that was weird because of all the things you had to explain. That was the one thing you didn't explain that I needed actually explanation for, is what a familiar is. And she's like, but why would that mean that he needs to be black? I don't understand that.
Right. I don't know what that means either.
Okay. To answer the question,
familiars come in a variety of species and colors. We aren't just flunkies. The link between host and familiar is a bond that's impossible to describe.
So why would she assume that he needed to be black? Why would she
assuming she got a cat?
The cat looks like the government.
Like a black cat? Okay. Is that what it is? Like a black cat? Like was it not Buffy? What was that show? Sabrina. Yeah. Sabrina. Okay.
So she's going off television for that. This is your last chance, Chandra. We're back in the action.
I need some speed lines
into another tree.
For this
werewolf is just giving this chick the wood.
Yeah. Now, there's some problems with the action.
That's a good shot.
I'm not trying to be a nitpicky, but I'm an artist, and so when I'm like looking at action, I want the panels to scream action. And the panel above all these two right here, I need speed lines. I need some like smoke or something to suggest.
They've got good like the anatomy of both of those characters right there is good, but you're right. There's no action.
Like but they're also all of a sudden he's in a forest right here, but on the panel above they're in a desert. She's like being smashed into a tree in the middle of a desert. There's no green at all.
Off a cliff.
Oh yeah, maybe.
I don't envy the guy who had to do the inking on that tree.
I don't either. But that's something you gotta like consider. Now that's a cool kind of panel. The swipe, the pow.
Yeah,
I'm not sure I guess it kind of lines up. It lines up well enough.
Yeah, for claws, you want more of like a.
Yeah, maybe there's a better pose for that particular panel, but that's a cool.
Oh, so after all this fighting from day to night,
because this guy's so badass, they need him on their team, and he's like, "Fuck no, I'm better than you. I don't need to do this." And they're like, "Well, you're gonna fucking do it whether you like it or not." And they start fighting. And then this guy pulls out a tranquilizer dart.
Yeah.
So this amazing badass
for about an hour because we were in full daylight. It wasn't sunset.
Oh yeah,
into the night. And now he's like, "Well, now it's time to end this.
Time's up." Yeah, we're at page 20 something.
Yeah, let's wrap it up. We're at the end of the book.
I hate to be a stickler on this one, but that gun is going to fire right back in his face.
Let me see. Go back.
Look how it loads the air into the.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think. No, hold on. If the two.
Oh my god!
Clearly, this is not your conventional tranquilizer dart, because usually those are done with rifles, anyways. But okay, so it's a pistol. It's not cocking back at all because there's no chamber.
So that tube right there is going to shoot the air back.
Yeah, you're right. That's where you want to do maybe some air dart reference or something. Because like, if you look, the air canister is strapped to the barrel. The barrel's not cocking back. That dart's going straight into that barrel, and then the barrel's inserting the air into the tube, and the tube is going to shoot it back in his face.
You might as well have just pulled out a blowgun.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
But the fact that he could just
here, I like the glowing eyes.
That's cool.
I like how feral he
I like
looked.
the contrast on the shot.
I actually like this shot better here. This is sick.
The horizon on that next panel down. Yeah, that's a cool panel. But down or up. No, yeah, you're right. That one right there. Look in the trees. Look in between the trees. That horizon line. Go up a little bit.
Okay.
And right there.
Oh, it's off.
It's off. I'm not sure why. I noticed that and was like, did he readjust something maybe?
Probably.
Is that computer coloring where like you hit on paint when you hit fill and it just filled to the wrong line?
My assumption is that there was an adjustment made to prevent what's that called where you have two lines that mesh and that kind of it confuses the eye. It's like so in order to prevent that, they adjusted it and did not look at the horizon line and fix that part.
Huh? He immediately goes from that to that just from the shock of the dart.
So here's the problem. If this dude is so badass, but he can be taken down with one dart, and you happen to know the recipe for that dart or whatever, you got to assume the bad guy might know that recipe, and he's not so much of a badass. I would have figured out a different way to get this story, to get this, what do you call that? It's plot hole, maybe?
Yeah, suspending disbelief.
Like, well, if they know how to knock him out that quick and easy, somebody else has to know, and so he's not that. It doesn't. If for nothing else, it doesn't tell me, the reader, that this guy is an insane badass. That they need him. Without him, their mission has failed. Which is kind of the vibe I get. is that without him, we cannot succeed. Yet he can be taken down easily with a dart. So that doesn't tell me, the reader, that that he is that much of a badass. Yeah.
He's going to be super pissed whenever he wakes up.
Yeah.
Load him into the rover. Let's get out of here.
Maybe if there's maybe if they,
I hope he plays ball, but we're going to go ahead and abduct him.
I hope they do something in the future where they're like, okay, that'll never happen again because you just happen to catch him off guard, which would never happen. It'd be like Darth Vader being like choking the fuck out of everybody with the Force, and everyone's like, we need this fucking guy. And then that one jackass shoots him with a dart and he like gets knocked out. And you just knocked out Darth Vader. It's never going to happen again. But you just got lucky that one time. It's kind of the vibe. I'm like, you know what I mean?
That was Will Smith's lucky shot right there. Like, he got it. That one's going on the wall. You ain't getting a second one.
Yeah.
So you're Daniel's familiar then? Good Lord, no, he's not my type. So the familiar needs to have a type. That child has way too many issues, I'm afraid.
I will say the artist was consistent with that girl's face in this issue. That does look like the same person throughout.
Haven't had a host in a while, long time. It's all good. Pleasure to meet you, Nancy.
Stupid little thing. I like those scratches on the black tiles.
I like the scratches. It's a marble look, right? It's supposed to be like marble. I don't like the black and white tiles. It drives me nuts looking at that. But I like the technique thrown into it. I wish there were some reflections. I wish the white tiles were a little bit darker. There's a lot I would do with that because that is a pain in the ass on the artist.
Yeah.
So this is in line with mainstream comic books because nobody dies in these books and stays dead.
So that demon was taken out of the dude's body, thrown in the K-hole, and now this guy's like out in public, and the demon comes right back to him. So he didn't spend any time in hell. Like Satan was like, "Oh yeah, bro, just get back up there."
No, he went home to get a new look.
Yeah, and he came right back. The guy's like, no, like I don't want that. No. And then he's a demon again. Sorry. And his girlfriend happened to be there. Nice hottie. She's like, what? And he's like, I'm gonna gut you like a fish. And then boom, she's dead. Too bad, because I wanted to know more about her. She's like one of the best drawn, interesting women in the whole book.
Oh, come on. She's gonna come back.
Oh, she might. With who's the Black Dahlia?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, let's just go ahead and go down that list.
Yeah.
We got Jack the Ripper.
The end of the book. The Jack
All right.
the Ripper is
so
back.
Here's the problem. This is the end of issue 2.
Yep.
And I know Hojo was talking about how both these issues were supposed to be one. There's still a problem. We are now 1-2 issues, even if it's 1 or 2, and nothing has happened. Anywhere. We haven't gone anywhere with the story. This is Starblades. That's a problem because Starblades was great. It's team building in the first issue. I don't think we're ever going to see a Starblades 2. Maybe someday. But the problem with breaking your story up into 2 issues for financial reasons or whatever is that you are now 2 issues in and the story hasn't really started yet. And now the issue 3 the cover looks badass, but you got to keep in mind, now, if I'm not mistaken, this book was actually cheaper than your typical book on crowdfunding, right? But the problem is, in crowdfunding, you're charging a premium for a book that you can go to a comic book store and buy a book for $7, $10 cheaper than that. You can go to Alternate Comics and get a $3 book. That's really good. So when you're charging $10, $15, and I don't remember how much they charge for this, but I want to say it was a fair price, like $10 or something. You are asking a lot of the reader, of the buyer, to fund your book. And if you are not putting every thought, you have an editor on your book. What are they doing? Checking just the dialogue? Who's looking at the artwork? Who's considering the dynamics? Like, this book has to sell because it has to be better than what's in the comic book shops. People can go buy a book in the comics. Here's the number one question that I have for everybody making a book right now.
What's that?
Why should I buy your book? Why should I? You know what? If you're a character on YouTube, if you're a personality that I love, that could actually get me to pay $25 for a 25-page book, a standard floppy, or 24-page, whatever. If you're like an intriguing character, somebody that I want to support, I could easily be coerced into paying $25 for a floppy. If you're not somebody I'm familiar with because you're not on YouTube, well, then your book better be like Band of the Crow. You know what I'm saying?
On point, yeah.
And they even were selling it like dirt cheap. Like, even for a preview, that was cheap for the quality. So the question is, why? Why am I giving you the money? Because, and it's not a knock, it's not a dig. This is like something everybody has to ask. Why am I reading your book? I can go to a comic book shop. I can go to Walmart or like anywhere. I get on eBay, find books for dirt cheap. I'd prefer Alternate Comics because they're the cheapest and they're really good quality. Why am I buying your book? You need to sell me on that. And that's my number one question for everybody who's making a book. Can you answer it? Why am I buying the Mythicals?
Yeah. And we're going to start having the creators on with their book coming forward so we can actually like get to know these people and everything. I don't know how well the open mic nights are going to do for the way we want to do them, but that might just be for a creator to come on and talk about their book instead of having...
I would love... This is Hojo's book, right?
Yeah.
I'd love Hojo to come on and explain to me. Like, I would love it.
Yeah.
On Dojo's...
I'm a little remiss here because I see that Hojo was in the chat now and is not in there, I'm assuming right now. There were... So I'm going to point this out, like my 2 cents on this. Not that I have like there's any value in anything I have to say, but I'm like the perfect like weather vane on this. I'm not familiar with the book, and I came in late in the conversation, and this is my 2 cents. This is my gut reaction to what I saw.
Lay it down.
In the very short amount of time, in the very few pages that I was able to see, there were some moments on the artwork, and I'm not judging too heavily on that because it's art, regardless of whether or not it's the art that I would do or whatever, like I'm not gonna be all dramatic like that. But there were some moments in there where the art did capture me a little bit. And there was enough like emotion to where I feel a little bit of investment in the characters. The exposition on that, it was a bit much. It would have been hard to go through that whole thing. I had to put on glasses for the first time in the history of streaming with you guys so that I could read some of that stuff. and I hate my glasses with a passion. So I was actually invested to the point where I was like, okay, I want to see a little bit what's going on. But there were some elements of this that are a little bit of a hard pill to swallow for me. For one, Jack the Ripper being taken out, and then there's zero reasoning behind the story arc of getting rid of Jack the Ripper and then immediately bringing him back. It's like, why did we get rid of him in the first place? What are we showing? What is the part of the like how does this progress the story? I kind of feel like that's something that should have been reintroduced in a later issue, other than it was the cliffhanger for this one.
So imagine in Ninja Turtles, the movie, they throw him into the trash dump. He gets crushed in the trash compactor. Now imagine if you ended that movie with him at the beginning of the next Ninja Turtles movie. Like, you end Ninja Turtles 1 with his arm coming out of the trash, and he's like, you understand he's not dead, right? It completely... It takes away the impact of him getting trash compacted. You had to wait another movie to find out that somehow he survived that shit. But at least we waited another movie. So we find out in the same book that it was completely worthless. That they took what they need is one of those nuclear reactors like the Ghostbusters have, where they trap him in one of those things.
Actually, the same thing happened in issue 1 when he cracked the woman's neck and she came back.
Well, yeah, she was a demon all along, right? Like all
along, but she came back and they let the demon become.
Well, they said, okay, you did a good job. So obviously, this friend of hers for a long time, so apparently since college, was a demon all along. And what we need is, what is that device called the Ghostbusters have, where they throw the little trap on the floor?
I forget what it's called.
Timer comes out and goes like.
I remember the name of that actor that comes in and tells them they have to shut everything down.
Yeah,
Paul Rudd.
No, right. It might as well. That's an excellent guess. Like you had a 50% chance at that.
All right, share my screen because this is what we're talking about. Right. We started this stream off with Band of the Crow. Excellent. Look at this art. This book you can get, I think, digitally for like $6, and this is a preview book. It's not like the Mythicals, a full length comic. Band of the Crow. Look at the artwork, Stanley. Look at the artwork in this. This is page.
So before we get like too deep in like something like that, so first off, Band of the Crow and Mythicals, what's the page count on both of those?
Okay, there's a difference because Mythicals was an actual campaign.
There is a difference
for a book. The Band of the Crow was for a preview book.
Yeah, it was like 20 pages, 22 pages or something.
It was like it was like maybe. I thought it was like 10 pages, but actually thinking about it, yeah, I think you're right. It might actually be just slightly shy of what the Mythicals was. But the price for Band of the Crow, this is the main cover of Band of the Crow, by the way. I personally, it's not my favorite.
Oh, I really like it.
I like the art, don't get me wrong, but I like this better.
You know what? I don't. I like the other one better because for a couple of reasons. For one, the faces, eyes looking at you. Band of the Crow is 30 pages.
Yep.
How much is Mythicals?
The other one was 24.
So this is actually more as a preview. This is more. Now, granted, we did talk about a Band of the Crow needing a little bit more dialogue or maybe condensing a little bit to get more story across.
Right.
But that might take away from the way he's telling the story because of the fact that it's kind of like a manga where you can kind of breeze through pages, which is how they have these like thick books.
Yeah.
But the artwork is phenomenal in Band of the Crow. Like it is spot on from page 1. Look at this.
Yes, that is the really exceptional art on a lot of different levels. And I don't think everybody needs that, but it absolutely stands out like right out of the gate here.
Look at the lighting, and this is a preview book. And now, granted, I got to page 30 and wanted more. I was like, page 30, this story is not complete. I need more. And now the price was pretty cheap for this. And so when you get to page 30 and you're like, holy crap, I need more. I want to see where this goes. I'm willing to pay $30 for your book or $40 for the complete hardcover version of this, dude. Like, because it's good, man. Like this, I want to see more of. It is big panels, not as much dialogue. Fair enough. It does. I did read through those 30 pages really quick because there's not much to read, which is why I want to see more. But the thing is, the artwork is very exquisite. So in the middle of looking at all the word boxes, there's so much to look at here.
How's the storyline overall on this one?
Okay, it's pretty good.
That's something you can have. If you're going to compare two comic books like this, like I'm loving the artwork on this. I love that page count, like all of those sorts of things. But like I'm still holding out on Mythicals. I'm still good with this if it's a good story. You know what I mean? I am completely on board with the artwork and everything if it's a good story. But like we saw, there was some cliffhangers. There was a slight lack of progression. I'm not going to say there was a lack of progression. It was just there was a lot going on with very little being accomplished.
Right.
Yes, there's a lot of exposition. If you were to actually summarize both those two issues, basically she goes to an interview, gets attacked, and then goes back to, she got the job, so now she's talking to these guys. Meanwhile, they're trying to go get this other guy. There's a backstory happening, and I was kind of suggesting that backstory with the priest and the demon, I kind of feel like that should have been broken up to help progress the story a little in a different way. Like maybe it might be a storytelling aspect.
Yeah.
Art being what it is, the flow is a bit jarring in the first issue, and in the second issue, it's not so much as jarring; it's more like an exposition dump.
Just too much exposition, yeah.
At certain times when there's just not a lot going on, but there's an action sequence. But the action sequence is like missing key elements in an action sequence that make it exciting. And so we're at the end of issue 2. And we're still waiting for the story. Like, she just finished her interview. She's now being acclimated to the team. We're understanding that they're bringing more people into this team. Nothing has really happened yet after 2 issues. There's like events that happen, but the story is about this girl being part of the team. So let's see this team go attack this enemy. We're coming up on issue 3. And there's none of that. We're still team building. And now I understand he was saying earlier, this was supposed to be one issue, one big issue. Yeah. And so he had to break it up for financial reasons, which makes sense. You got to pay a team. So my suggestion would have been, okay, if that's the case, take your story, tweak it a bit to make it a complete issue 1 and a complete issue 2. That way you're not leaving a huge chunk to be desired, I guess, right? Like, there's a way to tell the story to keep the story continuing, but also you feel like satisfied with what you're getting, a story arc, something.
With him breaking it up and him having 2 different editors on each issue probably didn't help either, because if you had the same editor on both issues, he probably could have helped that jarring and that, breaking up the stories and having it flow a little better.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Lee Byron Carver as the editor on issue 2. He cleaned it up a lot better than Piper did on issue 1 with the flow and everything, even though there was still a lot of exposition. But yeah, had you had the same editor doing both issues, I think that same editor could have helped you with that flow, make it more consistent. Put the impactful moments where they're necessary, and then have the less exciting stuff kind of like breeze over a little bit quicker so we can get back to more important matter. And
I gotta say something though. And Jake, this really is on you.
It looks like he's really like choosing his words here.
Well, what I'm trying to do is I'm presenting a narrative. While I love everything Jake says, occasionally he says something that's absolutely wrong. If you want to share my screen, if you would.
Oh, go fuck yourself.
I was also wooed by Jake's mysticism because he says at the beginning of this page, it says, "Some can say whence came the eternal cold that swept over the known world 8 centuries ago." Some, right? Makes sense, Stanley? That makes sense. Some can say. Let me zoom in. Just
that.
All right, check it out.
I see none.
Oh shit! I'm going to Stanley because Jake told me this says some, but that should be an M right there. Some can say, but you know what? We found out through who was it? Who was it that did that?
That was both
Corey.
Corey and Jeremy.
Corey was like, bro, you're an idiot. That says none. And I was like, I will never listen to Jake again. I swear to God, I'm never gonna listen. I'm gonna question every word out of his mouth now.
I'm gonna level with you guys. I'm a little bit retarded. Okay.
He told me that. And I was like, oh yeah, it does say Sony. The one issue we have with this book. No, it was absolutely correct. It says none can say whence came the eternal cold that swept over the known world 8 centuries ago. Look at this artwork, dude. Look at this artwork.
Hold on. I got a question about that, though. It is fantastic artwork, and the filigree is amazing.
Yes.
But none can say whence came the eternal cold that swept over the known world 8 centuries ago. So in the very first sentence, he says whence it came.
It was 8 cent. Oh, that's actually legit. 8 centuries ago, we know that much. And the known world, that was 8 centuries ago. There's a cold that swept over it. That's eternal. 8 centuries. None could say. That's like saying none could say whence the sun rose this morning. Yeah, roughly 18 hours ago when the sun rose.
8:37 this morning.
Oh, that's a good point. And the cold breeze that no one felt swiftly swept across my face.
Should have said some now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So S-O-N-E is somebody's name.
That's a good point. Who's Sown? Sown could say. Well, who is Sown? He could say when the eternal cold swept. That's probably the one telling the story because he's saying it right now. He said it roughly
8 centuries ago, but none can say 8 centuries
None could
ago.
say that because they died 8 centuries ago when the cold swept across the kingdom. Nice. Interesting. It's a good point.
Also, again, I got to say, good filigree, and that is beautiful artwork.
That is beautiful filigree. That's totally an N, bro. How did you convince me that was an S?
Because you saw it exactly as I did. There was no separation at the bottom or the top.
It is, though. It is separated. Look at it.
I didn't see it. You obviously didn't see it. Go fuck yourself.
You know what? That's because I'm easily influenced. And
I will say that as an S, it is a very pretty S.
That would be a pretty good S, but it's an even better N, which makes more sense. None could say. None could say whence the sun rose this morning. When we all rose and looked upon the sun.
Oh, shit.
Who could say? None could say. But I'm saying it now. Hear me. For I am the bearer of news. 8 centuries ago. Indeed. The band of the crow looked upon the kingdom. On the eve of the great winter was born the holy daughter, Julian. That's a weird name for a girl, by the way. Unto this far-flung isle of the east. But look at that, dude. I want this artist to draw me the Hobbit. I have an illustrated Hobbit, by the way, from Marvel. It doesn't look this good. From Marvel, bro.
Who did the lettering on this?
It's all, from what I understand, it's all... What's his name? Oren? There's an artist by the name of Oren.
Yeah, Oren.
That poor soul. Unless you had like a training in that kind of style, like, God, that would suck.
Oh, Corey's in the chat. Here we go. Oh, wait, no, hold on. Am I scrolling up? Okay, never mind.
Yeah, you're scrolling up.
I was scrolled up. So I think I was of the mind that this might be type. It might be a font. Because look at the lettering. It is like almost
hand done.
It looks hand done, but look at the fonts. They're the exact same, dude.
Are they? Can you zoom in on that? I'm curious.
Yeah. Okay. Look. Let me zoom in. Look at the E's. The E's are like exactly the same.
No,
now, they might have been rearranged in the fonting or what, like in the. Look at the E's right here. The
No,
E.
because look at the O. The O isn't perfect. You can see.
Oh, I'm saying that they're all hand drawn, but I'm saying that he did an alphabet and then copy and pasted.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Because the E's are all the exact same E, dude.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are. They're just tweaked a bit.
Check the E. Check the second E on I, and then check the E on the.
Yeah, I was kind of leaning that direction too. Also, look at the T on East and the T in daughter.
Yeah. Dude, that was all hand done individually.
That's the same T.
No, it's not.
Look at the left side of the cross member on that
thickness.
T.
Look how thick it is right here at the top of the T and how
better argument would have been the T of the and the T of East.
There you go. That's another good one. Yeah. The height of that, the top half of it's different.
But look at the T of on the on the I right here, or the Eve. Look at that T, and then look of the great. That is the exact same fucking T, dude. That is a
look at
font.
the O in holy and the O on of.
Oh, okay, that's a good point. Yeah. All the O's are totally different.
Yeah.
So that is hand drawn.
And look at the distance between some of the letters too.
I'm just saying the E's look almost the exact same. Some of the O's are different.
A letter where you'll do that. You can nail an E and like look at Y's or
look at the A's though. The A's are the exact same. They're literally like the exact same.
All right. Look at the Y.
Oh, that's not true. Look at daughter and East. The A's are different.
Look at the Y in I and the Y in holy.
The Y and I.
That's a mic drop
and
right
the
there.
Y and that's like, but that Y in holy is an elaborated Y. Look at it's like he literally cut off that little tail of the one. It's the same Y. He just cut off the tail for I of the great.
No, I don't think so.
No, I can see the cut right there.
There's not.
Maybe. I'm just kidding.
I'm
not actually seeing that, but okay. Either this was hand drawn at expert like precision, or he had written multiple O's, multiple T's, and mixed and matched until he made it look spot on. Because some of the letters look the exact same.
Which of those options do you think sounds like it would take longer?
Look at the quality of the artwork in this book. I could see either option being an option. Like taking the thought process of making multiple fonts to make it appear like they're different or that it's hand drawn, but to also save time. You know what I mean? Now, the one thing is these highlighted letters that are like great, holy, daughter, Julian, those are all colored letters, and you can see where the ink wasn't completely like on Julian right there. There's like a little
the middle of the J. It's got that white spot.
Clearly that is like that's all hand drawn, but it's like that lends credence to the idea that this was literally hand drawn, the whole thing. Which, holy shit, bro.
Exactly. And that's
awesome.
what I'm saying is like, I see that. If that's hand drawn, like, I feel whoever had to write that. One mistake.
And you got to start over.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, it has to have been like digital at some regard. In some regard, it almost seems like it has to be digital.
God, dude, you get to like the last line of the East, and you were sweating bullets on those two E's.
But then again, look at the direction of the bottom line in comparison to the orientation of the top two lines of dialogue. The bottom of the East is in a tangent, and that's the word I was looking for earlier, by the way, when I was talking about two lines intersecting in a drawing. And it looks like they adjusted the background as to avoid a tangent, what is known as a tangent, where you have an object in the foreground, an object in the background, or multiple objects kind of running along the same grid lines. It's called a tangent, and it confuses the eye. Now, in this regard, the tangent is in regards to the two top lines of dialogue and the bottom line. That bottom line is kind of curving. Mm-hmm. Oh, that might be the page being curved, but it does look like there's a slight tangent off of the grid. So that might be hand drawn. That lends credence to the idea that it is completely hand drawn. Which, holy shit, that's really freaking amazing, man.
I want to see some more Y's now.
The fact that we're even analyzing it to this degree means it's impressive. And this guy should be doing sorry, Arvid. This guy should be doing he should be working for New Line Cinema or whoever's got the licensing for Lord of the Rings. Is it Amazon?
Yeah.
Like they should be getting paid the big bucks for that shit right now for making that comic book adaptation, because this is freaking amazing. Not that, but that lends credence to bringing it back around to the Mythicals. The reason we were nitpicking the Mythicals is because this is your competition, bro. And this was I don't know if it's cheaper or if this was a cheaper book or not. Honestly, I don't know what the Mythicals was charging. But this is the problem with crowdfunding. This is your competition, guys. You need to make your book as like this. This is the bang for your buck that a buyer wants. Stanley here hasn't backed books. But if he was ever to be coerced into backing a book, is this a book that you might be coerced to put your money towards?
You know we might have to do a thing on here like the best one of the year I'll back or something like that.
We kind of talked about it at the end. Was it last year? The end of the last stream I did last year. We kind of talked about the best books we were looking at this year. And part of my show is that I like the fact that Stanley's in there. He's the guy that he's not really into crowdfunding, so we're here to convince him, and we try to sell him on Polar Destroyer. We try to sell him on Merkmaid, Ariel. We try to convince him with these books. We've got you, Jake. You're the DC guy. I'm the Marvel guy. We got Grody. He's the anime kind of guy, right? He's the and so the manga guy. So, but he also is not. He's new to backing and stuff. Andrew jumped in after we closed the stream out yesterday. Andrew jumped in. We all chatted. We're like the audience, like literally the whole roundabout audience that people are trying to sell to. Every aspect of the audience. So we all our opinions matter. Yeah, it covers all bases. All our opinions matter on your books. And so I might say something that you completely disagree with, and that's totally fine. Your audience is going to be doing the same thing. You got to make sure to cover as many of the bases in regards. Like, we're the perfect example of who you're selling to.
We are the demographic.
Exactly. So that's the thing to keep in mind. This, in my opinion, this is a book that I would want, if I'm going to convince somebody to get into crowdfunding, this is the kind of book I'm going to send
Most
them
definitely. 100%.
Yeah. So everybody who's making books needs to keep that in mind. This is your competition. And this is the guy, when I'm making my book, he just set the bar, bro. And I'm like, oh, shit. How do I make my book better than this book? I'm going to find a way. Because you know what, Arvid? Arvid, you did it first, so now I just had to one-up you. Just like everybody else. That's the name of the game. That's how Comicsgate's going to be amazing. That's how we're going to grow. Indie Comics is going to get better and better because people keep setting the bar. And we got to keep up with
more, man. And he set the bar pretty damn high for this one. I don't even think Ethan could do that.
I think he could.
I don't think you could do that. What I'm looking at right now, I do not think.
Have you? Yeah, but have you looked at the panels of like Red Planet and Blood Honey?
Yeah,
there's so much detail in those panels.
I agree, but this is just a different level. This is almost realistic. This is painterly art, and I'll put
it is painterly.
I put painterly art up top, man, because it just the realism of it is what really draws you in.
Well, it fits perfectly with the scene.
Granted,
with
this
setting.
is separate. This is separate itself from the actual art of the actual events and action.
Even though the comic book is pretty damn close, but this is fantasy.
Yeah,
Cyberfrog is like it's like a sci-fi action adventure.
Yeah, superhero-esque.
So it's a different genre. It's just like John Malin's art's a little bit more simplistic than all of these. But John Malin's art speaks to me more than most art. But again, those are the pros that we're all comparing ourselves to, right? When we're making books. You got Arvid here and Oren here. We're like they're already up on that level. You know what I mean? And so we're comparing all the rest of us to this, which is like up there with them. That's the hierarchy of like, you know, what we're doing here.
I agree.
And
very intimidating.
This book is doing it. It's intimidating. It's like, holy shit, I need to get this guy to do some work for me because. But then again, I already know that once the bigger creators get a hold of this guy, he'll be doing.
We're not seeing him. We won't see him down here.
I know. Like I'm seeing like Aaron Lopresti snatch this guy up in a heartbeat for his Wraith of God, dude. Can you imagine? And I like Wraith of God's artwork.
You know what? So what needs to happen here? Start saying bad things about this, kind of like start knocking them down.
Complete shit. It's this crow right here. He blends into the background.
Doesn't even fill the page.
The color scheme, like he puts an in and some. He puts an in. It doesn't even say some. It says Sony. Like Sony. Was that the company that makes like DVD players? Man. Sony.
Somebody's definitely going to clip that and put that up for Arvid.
Yeah, it's like complete dog shit right here. Just DM me, bro. I'll get you.
Crescent Moon anymore?
Yeah, I'll set you straight, bro. I'll get you some business. You know what I mean? I'll do something for you. I mean, I know it's. I know you probably need some help. I'll get you on the right path.
You offer discounts, like you got a 2-for-1 deal or something.
There we go.
We can maybe slide you in.
Yeah. And if you look at the quality of my streams, you'll know I'm for real.
All right, guys. We're at the 2.5 hour mark.
That was good, man. That was good little
definitely
going out. Not we're not trying to hurt any feelings. We're just being critical, kind of like bringing it back to this because this is your competition, Mythicals. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I'm kind of rooting for Mythicals. So I want to see some good story progression on that. I want Mythicals to win me over.
The third issue has already made its campaign goal, so we will be seeing issue 3.
And the cover is actually like really good. That cat's face.
That cover.
Yeah, that was a cool cover. Can we pull that up real quick before we call it a day?
Yeah, let me get it going.
I gotta say, I don't like cats.
Fun My Comic.
Throw that in there.
Let me stop sharing screen because otherwise you might get some tatas bouncing on the screen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's really why we want everybody over there.
Go check out my channel, by the way. It's Pete Orchard Studios, and you'll see tatas. I promise. Like, especially in yesterday's stream, for at least the next 12 to 24 hours before he
before he gets banned. Check out his stream from last night before he gets banned.
All right, we got hang on.
Oh, actually, hold on. I got it right here. And there's a few things to instantly talk about right here. I got it pulled up. Share my screen.
Okay.
This panel right off the bat is pretty cool. I got to say. This is intriguing.
Oh, this doesn't even look like the same series.
Yeah. So issue 1 and issue 2. Issue 2 is a big improvement to issue 1. This is already an improvement, which is I like to see that. I want to see an improvement every time. We're getting better and better. This is cool. Like we got an autopsy on some weird demon something or other. I don't know what that is. Bloody hell, he says. Yeah, I want to know what that's all about. And then we got, is that the same girl? Who is this? I don't know. We don't know. You got to read Mythicals 3 to find
That's gotta
out.
be a new chick.
It's got to be, right? Oh, snap. We got some Kickstarter cover shit going on here. You know what I'm saying? Where is it? Right here. This cover.
Yeah, that looks awesome.
This is an awesome cover right here. This is no pink. This is none of that. The shifter kind of stuff. Pinks and purples. This looks cool. This could be like the cover of a Spawn issue, and you're like, what the hell's going on? I want to know what I want to know.
Notice what's in her mouth is the dude's sunglasses.
Oh yeah, I did notice that. And look at the reflection of the eye. She's like got some weird orb happening.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the artist on this? Reyes? Is that Jimmy? Jimmy Reyes? Is that? It's got to be Jimmy Reyes, right? And Nastos. Who's? I don't know, but this is what you're looking forward to in Mythicals 3. Oh, okay, here we go. I don't know what the other two were charging for the books. Mythicals 3, you need both covers, $20 for 2 books. $25 for, what is this, catch up? Mythicals 1. Peter Gilmore. And for issue 2, I'm a little confused. $25. Is that for 2 or 3 issues?
Oh, it looks like you get to choose between issues 2 and 3, which covers you get. But it looks like $25 for all 3.
No. It's $25 for your choice of Mythicals 2 cover and your choice of Mythicals 3 cover, but no choice in Mythicals 1.
Right.
It's catch up light. Okay. Is there a catch up heavy right here? Catch up heavy for $45 you can get. Okay. Nothing wrong with that. Get every cover we have offered and pick up an entire Mythicals collection.
Okay.
$45 for, is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 covers? For that doesn't make sense. I'm confused.
Yeah, the pricing's a little junky.
That's a little weird. I'm not sure. Okay, so $60. Choose your own adventure box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Between Mythicals 2 and 3. Where's the Mythicals 1? Mythicals 1 PDF. Or 1 through 3 PDF for $20. Mythicals 1 black and white sketch cover for $7. Okay. $20. You get the trading card collection. $13 print collection. What about the books, though? The standee, $1 sticker, and then stuff that's not for sale. I need a catch-up tier that has everything. Did I miss it? Mythicals number 3, $10. 28 pages. That's fair. That's a fair price. For $20, Mythical 3, 2 books. You get 2 covers. $25, you can get Mythicals 2 and 3. You can get Mythical. I don't see Mythicals 1 on here except for a PDF, a digital PDF. All right, that's an issue. Here's the thing. Here's what I got to say on that. Make every backer get Mythicals 1 PDF for free. If you're backing this book, get Mythicals 1 for free. If you're not going to reprint the thing and give it as an option for people to buy, give it to them for free. Black Flag was late, but he gave his backers that's Fragaboom's Black Flag. It's late, but he gave everybody the back issues of Black Flag to get caught up on what's going on with Black Flag. Lots of material. That's fair. That's cool. I like that. I can get in the meantime while I'm waiting, I can get caught up on all those books. No, don't make it a PDF option to purchase. Just make it like a freebie. Throw it in there. We saw that somewhere else. Where did we see that? There was another book that was like.
I have a thought that maybe like if you've progressed along, you've got 3 books under your belt now, and you're like, man, that first one was just not that good. I don't want to redo it. I don't want to reprint that. I want to wait. I want to move on. I completely understand. But as somebody like you want to get people into the collection here, give them some kind of option where they can at least read it. You might not want to charge them $20, $25 for that one, but like Peter said, include the PDF on these things.
For free or something. If you're not going to give them the option to purchase the physical, which is a huge point, like bonus, because you want people to purchase the physicals, right?
Yeah.
But if you don't want to print, because we're talking financial problems, you're talking about a whole nother book you got to reprint. If that's not an option, then you know what? Ditch issue 2 as well. Make those PDFs, digital 1 and 2. They were supposed to be one book anyways, right? So either make that a digital or put them in a combined book or something. Like, because this is weird. We're looking at Mythicals 3, Mythicals 2 and 3, Mythicals 2 and 3, and then you can get Mythicals 1 and digital. Like, issue 3 actually looks like it's going to be the best one of all.
Yeah,
so
it is good.
So put issues 1 and 2 together. Instead of trying to get issues 2 and 3, I would say save all those issue 2 books and issue 1. If you have any leftover issue 1s, get that issue 1 reprinted. Do a catch-up tier or a second chance or something. That way you can get some more copies under your belt, and then you can take those to conventions and sell issues 1 and 2. Do digitals here, or maybe go fund my comic and do a storefront. Do something, because this is Mythicals. It's a little odd to have Mythicals 2 and 3, but not 1 included. Like The only option that I'm seeing right now, I haven't dived into this, but the only option I'm seeing for Mythicals 1 is right here. Is this 1 through 3 get caught all cut up tier? $20 ain't bad. But that issue 1 should be black and white sketch cover. Oh, that's a physical tier. This is an add-on item. Okay, so that's a physical tier for $7. That's not bad. Dan Dahl. We love Dan Dahl.
Yeah, that's good. $7 for
$7. That's not bad for like a SketchUp tier. Does that mean the interiors are black and white? Or is it just a sketch cover is the black and white? Anyways, I don't know. Those are the questions that I have when I'm like looking at this stuff. And the print collections, 13, that should be a stretch goal. How many backers have you got? 3 for those? Okay. Well, that's okay. I'm wrong. $13 for shipping, and people were getting those prints. The acrylic standee, you got 7 people looking for those. The Fund My Comic stickers are awesome. We are on Fund My Comic. For some reason, I thought we were on Indiegogo. That's weird.
Wrong layout.
Yeah.
124 backers, 4,000. He's already there.
Yeah.
Nice. That makes me happy to see that.
Totally. So maybe none of my critiques here on this is on you. It might be on Fund My Comic and the layout, because I want issue 1. Like we were talking about Polar Destroyer, I wanted issue 1 because he was doing issue number 2, but I wanted issue 1. But the only way to get issue 1 was to get it with the particular cover of issue number 2. I didn't want that cover of issue number 2. I wanted the other cover in issue number 2, and they didn't have it available with issue number 1. There was no add-ons and with Fund My Comics, so I was like, I don't want that. I don't want to buy 2 issue number 2.
And that's exactly how he said it, too.
I said it on Twitter, and actually, they were really freaking awesome. They're like, all right, shut your fucking bitch-ass mouth. I'll give you the cover you want. Just tell me the fucking cover you want, God damn it. And then I told him I want issue 1 and this one. And he says, well, then back the book. Tell me your fucking order number. Stop crying like a little bitch, and I'll give you the covers you want. And I said, all right, I did it. And here, this is my number. And he said, all right, there. It's good. You're going to get what you want. Stop fucking crying. And I said, okay. We'll see. And I'm happy.
I'm glad you're happy.
This whole conversation just reminds me of my childhood.
Oh, I believe it.
Don't get me started on my childhood.
I'm talking about your childhood.
Trying to watch TV in the living room, and upstairs all I hear is because I'm hearing like somebody trying to record music. You were trying to record your punk albums, and all I hear is yo.
Like over and over again because I kept
Oh,
messing
no,
it
no,
up
yo.
with your retakes.
No. No shit. Anyways, yeah.
Guys, we almost made it 3 hours. We're going to call it now, man.
I tried to stretch it.
Oh, you're good. Appreciate you guys being here for me, Stanley. Glad you got to come in, even though it wasn't for the whole thing. I'm glad you got the tail end of it.
Yeah, me too.
See what I did there? But
the tail end studios of it.
There we go. Go check out Mythicals issue 3 over on Fund My Comic. If you can, please back it. Band of the Crow, you can no longer get it, so you just got to wait for the full edition when it actually gets out. You can follow Arvid Nelson over on Twitter for the updates there. And that about does it for us. I hope you had a good one. We'll check you later. And